Okay, we should be live on the tube. Okay. Looks like we're good there. And let's get TikTok going. Oh, I forgot my water. Dang it. Testing 1, 2. All right. Good there. Whoa. Chair's about to fall over. All right. Okay. Welcome in. How's everybody doing? Let's get things started. Hello, Tilting Windmill. Good to see you. Welcome in. All right, we have to set the pop outs here. So I gotta set that properly. So let me organize that. Where is chat columns? Okay. Let's see if we got that. Looks like we did. There we go. All right. Very good. All right, that's one. And the next one is TikTok. So let's get that set properly. I should be in that live. Okay, Scooty Scoot, it's good to see you. GTSY, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Jeez, it's Wednesday already. Oh boy. Cannot keep up with this. All right, why aren't I going in? That's strange. Okay, let's reset. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right, everybody should see everybody. Let's chat now. All right, happy Wednesday. So finally remembered to change over the topic. I want to get away from God is good for a little bit. Okay. Good afternoon. Oh, that's nice of you to say, Matt. It's nice to be somebody's favorite show. That's very kind. Very, very kind. All right. Pseudo V Science. Good day to you. How's it going? Abner's Hunt. Hey, how's it going? It's good to see everybody. Happy Wednesday. So today we're going to do a little bit of God is real talk. Is God real? Do you have evidence for it? If so, I'd like to hear it. So, same as always, want to talk to people who believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, the Quran. You have to be at least 18. And let's have some evidence that God is real. So, so let's see what evidence we can get today. Let's see what we have. So, like I said, request up. You have to be at least 18. I'm taking guests both on TikTok and YouTube. If you're on TikTok, just tap the little pink and blue people at the bottom of your screen. If you're on YouTube, go to the link right above my head. Now you can go to the link if you're on TikTok if you want, but it's up to you. So if you're on the tube, just go to bit.ly/tbv-guest. Why are you looking for evidence if you don't believe? Well, how am I supposed to believe something if I don't look for evidence? I mean, that doesn't make sense. If you want me to believe it, I need evidence. So, what is truth for you? That which has objective facts? It's the dictionary. It's whatever the dictionary definition is. I mean, what does it have to do with the topic? So, define truth. The quality or state of being true. That which is true in accordance with fact or reality. So, that's what truth is. That which is in accordance with fact or reality. You'd like to talk about PDF files? Not really the topic of this discussion. Don't really want to talk about that. Then you're looking for evidence, then there has to be a small belief. I'm about 98% sure no gods exist. So, do you have evidence that God is real? If so, let's hear it. So, you needed a dictionary to define truth. I see. Yeah. That's how we define things, wealth mindset. How do you define things? That's how we define words, with a dictionary. I mean, how else do you define words? I would be the last person to help someone believe. Okay. Well, that's fair. If you don't have evidence, that's fine. I mean, it's fine with me. So we want to talk to people who have evidence. That's fine. More than welcome to just chill in the comments. So that's what we're looking for, is evidence. Because I need evidence to believe in things. It's just how I'm wired, just how I'm built. So I don't know how else to do things. How else would you believe something? Oh, you know what? I think I have the wrong window. So this might be why there's an issue. Oh, wait. Okay. I have two chat windows here. Let's close that. Okay, there we go. All right, we got the right windows up. So, yeah, we need evidence. So, what's your evidence that God is real? So, if you have some evidence, request up. You just have to be at least 18. You have to believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran, and you just have to have evidence that God is real. So it's interesting. Had a lot of people wanting to talk about God is real last several days. And now that I'm talking about God is real, nobody's requesting up. What you think of the satanic rituals that supposedly work for Epstein? Disgusting. I mean, that whole thing's disgusting. So anything related to Jeff E is just disgusting. All of it is. It's got nothing to do with Satan or God or anything like that. It has everything to do with bad people. The truth we perceive is related to the knowledge we have, so is very limited. In a sense, yeah. So if we don't know anything about God, why believe it? So I think that's what you're getting at. We only have so much knowledge about God, so why believe it? God dang it. Harassment and bullying? Who did I harass and bully? I didn't harass and bully anybody. Is there harassment and bullying in the chat? Is that what happened? God damn it. Let's see what happened here. So it's going to be restricted for 10 minutes. Yeah, nobody said anything. I don't know why it said that. Well, I'm going to try and appeal it if I can find the damn button. TikTok is just ridiculous sometimes. There was no harassing and bullying. So I can't find the button to cannot find the button to appeal it. All right. Well, I guess we'll just endure the next 10 minutes. Yeah. Well, I'm over on YouTube. I'm over on the tube. And I'm fine with being over on the tube full time. I don't care. I'm fine with that. I mean, doesn't matter to me. But only have 10 viewers over there right now. So I got to go where the people are at. But I'm on both platforms. But for right now, it's pretty low. But it usually builds as we go on. That usually is the case when I may just restart. Harassing us with your awesomeness. Oh boy. Yes, I'm a POSFF. I may just restart the live. You know what? I think I'll do that. I'm going to restart the live on TikTok side, everybody. So I'll see you in a bit. All right? So come find me. Stupid. Yeah. Ever since I think the switchover has been official, and it's just been, Okay, well. All right. Let's see what we can do now. We're bringing it all back. Okay. We're back in. Welcome back in, everybody. Okay. So let's see if we can not manage to do anything to get restricted. Okay. So welcome back in. We're back. Hi again. Pikachu, 3 pips. Good to see you. GTSY, Aaron, good to see you. Yeah, sorry. There were like just a ridiculous amount of shares and everything. It's just new live. Who dis? Exactly. Chrissy Chris, good to see you. So let's see if we can get some guests up to talk about whether or not God is real. It's just funny. I've got the topic that everybody wants to talk about, and now nobody's coming in. Just happens. That's the way it goes sometimes. Okay. So I just want to be sure that Video Ninja is set correctly. Looks like it is. So looks like we're good to go. All right. So if you're just joining, if you're just tuning in, and if you're in the hallway out on TikTok and you're deciding whether or not to join, we do relatively calm discussions. Turn off my phone. We do relatively calm discussions. Sometimes it gets a little spicy in here, but I match energy. So that's just how it goes. But we're looking for evidence to see if God's real. I'm a non-resistant non-believer. There's evidence. I will consider it. You're always calm. I would go the fuck off. Well, Tama, I think it's Glass Mama. It's good to see you. I didn't see you there. It's good to see you, Glass Mama. Everything all at once. Good to see you. And we have our first super chat from Henri. Thanks for doing the Lord's work. Go get him. Thank you. It's a good way to start. Thank you. So I'm a non-resistant non-believer. If there's evidence, of course I'll believe it. Now, the next question would be, see, now, if you get me to believe in your God, then the next question is, why should I worship this God? And that's another hill that's got to be climbed. So, because just because you believe in it doesn't mean you'll worship it. And Tama, I'm always calm because I focus on two things. Number one, I control the process, not the outcome. So however the outcome goes is how the outcome goes. I let that go. But I control the process. And the second thing is it's only 30 minutes. I can deal with things for 30 minutes. I can handle it. So that's about my limit. It was 20 before, and I was I was really considering bumping it, but I had to work my tolerance up to 20 minutes. You know, I had to work it up because, and then once I got to that point, then I was like, okay, I can do 30, but I think that's my limit. 30 is about as much as I can go. But honestly, that's with really, really bad conversations. But honestly, I could probably go even longer because I think 30 minutes is like what the audience can tolerate. Well, you know, when it is that close to your identity, you know, and it becomes that ingrained with your identity, it's like the what is it that in Spider-Man, that parasite from outer space, Venom. Yeah, it's like kind of like Venom, right? Oh, Reckless Raid. All right, welcome in. It's like Venom, right? When it becomes that entangled with your identity, it's very, very painful to see the truth or to see another perspective, cognitive dissonance. So people crash out. It happens. Or they just have to do anything they can to justify it. Cartwheels, pretzels, gymnastics, whatever they can do. But yeah, it's disheartening when people, you know, just can't be honest. Intellectual dishonesty is disheartening. Oh, the seat is... It's almost time to get a new seat. So, you know, that's how it goes. So why should I care what your special book says? Yeah, I think the Bible says is not evidence. because I could just write something down and says, here's what it says. And on top of that, you've just validated every other religion that has a book. So you validated the Quran, Islam, you've validated Hinduism with the Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas, the Upanishads, because they all say things. So that must mean that it's true. So we just have to, if that's what you're going by, then you've just validated every religion with a book. Because from where I sit, I can't tell which is what. I can't tell what's what. So that tells me nothing. Oh, looks like we have a guest. We have 4 guests waiting. All right. Let's see who we got. All right, we got 4 guests waiting. All right, so I prioritize first timers. So let's see who wants to come up. We'll just start from the top. All right, so if you're in the guest queue, you have to be at least 18, a believer in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran, and please have evidence that your God is real. How's it going, Z?
Yeah, good. How are you? Yeah, I'm a Christian. I'm over 18.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. And Z, what is your best evidence that God is real?
I will say I'm not a first timer though, if you wanted to pull somebody up. But the best evidence that I have would be fine tuning.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
There's different flavors of fine tuning. So what specifically do you mean? Could you describe it for us?
Mostly about the constants that allow for life. So like the strength of gravity, those kind of things. That version, I guess. I don't know many other versions. I mean, I've read one that incorporates some Bayesian analysis, but yeah, that would be what I would say is the best evidence, I think.
Okay. And so when you're talking about like, and which constant, like which, is it all the constants, certain constants?
Yeah, all of the constants of the universe, I would say.
Okay. All right. And so let's just say, for the sake of argument, let's just say I grant that I'll grant fine tuning. The constants appear exquisitely calibrated for life. Let's just assume that's true for a second. So does fine tuning logically require intentional design?
No, it doesn't logically require it, but I would say that it would be strong evidence for it.
Okay. Well, if it doesn't require it, then how do you know that everything's fine tuned?
I'm saying based on my observations, it's
based on your observations.
Based on my observations, the conclusion that I come to is there is an intelligence behind this.
Well, can you take us through your method then? Like, take us through how did you come to, like, what method or steps did you take to determine that this is what it is?
So kind of like C.S. Lewis would say, it's highly unlikely that a paper factory would blow up and leave a dictionary lying there.
Okay.
That's kind of the same logic that I apply to the universe. In terms of the gravitational constant, I mean, if it were a little bit stronger gravity, I mean, it affects the entire universe. The stars would burn out faster. There's not enough time for life in general to develop. I mean, the cosmological constant.
Okay. Well,
like the expansion speed of the universe.
Okay.
Well, then if the expansion speed were different, then things couldn't develop. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. I thought you were done, so my fault. Okay, well, I think what I'm trying to understand then is because we had earlier, you had just said, well, fine tuning doesn't require intelligence, and so then how could you tell the difference between, intelligent fine tuning versus non-intelligent fine tuning? I guess. Like, what's the distinction?
Yeah, it's and again, it's not maybe not again, because I don't think I've said it already, but it's not a proof. I just think it's evidence. So it's there's
Yeah.
not ever going to be a proof for God. I mean, it does require faith. At the end of the day, it requires faith to believe in God.
Okay. Requires faith at the end of the day. Yeah. And we're just looking at evidence. I'm not asking for proof. I'm asking for evidence. So that's the evidence you brought forth, and that's what we're examining. And okay. So I guess what I'm trying to understand then is then we could just have brute necessity then, that the constants just are what they are and they can't be anything else but what they are. And
yeah, I mean, it's logically possible, yes, but I think, and this is the one with, I don't know if you've read Luke Barnes. He's from Michigan, I think, but he's the one that kind of mixes fine tuning with Bayesian analysis.
Yeah, right, right.
And so it at least ends up with equal probability in his argument. It ends up with equal probability of a creator or not. And I think once you get down to, I mean, basically all worldviews end in a brute fact. So, like an eternal universe is a brute fact. You know, there's no better explanation than a creator.
Okay. So then, I guess because if it's equally as likely that it could just be, that it's not a creator, well, I guess what are we comparing this to? Because if because this is kind of interesting. Yeah, because I mean, it sounds like more it's like a could be for you, not a is.
No, well, that's just when I find it, or I view it as respectful when I'm discussing with atheists to not bring faith into it. Like the thing that pushes me over the edge is faith. So that's not gonna have any effect on you, I would imagine. If I said, "Oh, well, you just have to have faith in it," that's not gonna be helpful for me discussing this with you. So
yeah,
I don't bring that into the conversation usually.
I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really move the needle for me. And because it seems to me, because honestly, it just seems like, how confident are you that it's fine tuning is evidence of God?
Evidence of God. I mean, I would give it like 80%.
80%
confident that it's good evidence. Yeah.
Okay.
And again, like, I don't know, it's hard to, because I don't consider myself indoctrinated. Now I do acknowledge that I have blind faith in the Christian God. But I don't, that's to say, I don't need a proof for my worldview.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. Yeah.
That's just where I'm at on it.
That's where you're at. And I guess, because then I think at best it would say it's evidence for a God. But then you're saying it's the Christian God. But this could equally be, because then if you also apply Bayesian to this, it could equally be the Hindu gods, it could be the Muslim god, it could be the Norse pagan gods, it could be the Wiccan goddess. I mean, now how do you distinguish it from there?
I actually think that God in the Bible acknowledges that other gods exist. I just don't think the other gods are necessary for the creation of the universe.
They're just not necessary.
They're unnecessary gods. Yeah.
Yeah. So then that's the other part of it, is how do we know that that's true, that they're not necessary, and that the Christian God is?
Well, just because the nature of the Christian God is omnipotent, which would make him the only necessary God.
Okay. So if this is the omnipotent, well, it's a claim of omnipotence, right? And then yeah, it's a claim of that. And so then is it all the omnis then? It's the traditional Christian all omni God?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we can kind of start looking into, if this is an omniscient God, an all-knowing God, then we can look into kind of like particulars of fine tuning, right? Because I'm just going to go with what you gave me. So if we go in the particulars of fine tuning, now if I just accept that this God is real and that fine tune, or if I accept that that the universe is fine tuned, well, I guess, could this God have Like, what was the purpose of this God creating existence then?
I mean, he could be axiologically motivated to just out of love.
Out of love? Okay.
Yeah.
So you did it out of love? Okay. And
yeah, because an omnipotent God wouldn't have a need for us to exist, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, God's motivation for creating us. I mean, I could just say that God's mysterious, or it's not for us to know, or something like that. But I think he could have been axiologically motivated just to make us, and the Bible will tell you in His image. So, and that's where it gets into the design argument, because like as soon as I said fine tuning, somebody earlier in the chat said, "Well, the sun gives you cancer." I'm like, well, that's actually a response to the design argument, not the fine tuning argument.
Right.
Because
right. That's why I haven't said it.
Yeah.
And also that's why I asked you for the different, because there's different flavors, and some people sometimes they blend in design and fine tuning. Like it's like a blend of teleological and fine tuning. That's why I asked you, specifically. Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah. So I guess so then one thing that kind of gets me about the fine tuning argument is, because actually I honestly think it's one of the best ones. For the, it's one of the best arguments. Now, could God though have accomplished the same thing if he had just given electrons minds?
Oh, like electrons in love?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So then he wouldn't have needed to do all this. So then the constants that we're talking about then would have been completely different.
Yeah, but I don't know that electrons would have been in God's image. I guess it could have been. I don't know. That's, yeah. I don't have a good response to that.
Yeah, so it's electrons with minds. Electrons with minds could have just loved him the same, right? They could have worshipped him the same, accepted him as God the same. So that doesn't seem to. So then really the fine tuning constants isn't really evidence, because God could have just made electrons with minds and called it a day, and that's it. And he could have accomplished exactly what he needed to accomplish, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, it could have been that way. Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think that, but as we are now, I think that these constants are necessary for like human consciousness to be an end, or philosophical truth-seeking minds, for us to be the end goal. Well, or I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but
okay.
I think you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. But then couldn't electrons with minds achieve the same goal, achieve the same ends? Like they could be philosophical, they can, gather information, they could observe, all that stuff, and reason, use logic, all those things, right?
Yeah. And I mean, we are still made up of those, and it results in a consciousness.
And a lot more, yeah.
Yeah. So
I
don't disagree, but
okay. Well, because then it doesn't seem like the constants are necessary then, because if it's just a different set of constants that we could have stopped at electrons with minds and could have achieved all the same things, I'm not really seeing how these constants are necessary. And that kind of just destroys fine tuning. Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I know. I just, no, I don't disagree. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I have faith in God, and the way things are is because God chose for them to be this way. I'm sure with my belief that God's omnipotent, of course he could have had, infinite number of ways to create consciousness that could have a mind and worship him and experience love and all these other things.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the way that he did it. That's my view. I'm not saying that you should believe that. I'm just saying that's my view.
Yeah, I got you. All right. Well, Anything else?
No, that would be my best evidence for it, was just the fine tuning.
All right, sir. Well, I think we're at the end of that. So, well, I appreciate you coming up.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
All right.
All right. So, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, and he conceded that. It was cool. See, I like honest conversations, and I'm not trying to really move people off of that, but you know, it's an honest conversation. How do you explain natural beauty? It's subjective. So it's not an objective thing. It is subjective. And there's subjective things all over the place. Is that whole phrase, beauty is in the eye of the beholder? How's it going, Godwin? But yeah, I mean, if God could have created things any number of ways, if he's omnipotent, then, then really isn't fine-tuned, is it? Can't really say that. All right. Let's move on to the next guest. How's it going?
Hello. Pretty good. How about you?
Doing well. All right. For TikTok purposes, are you at least 18?
20 years old.
All right. Which God do you believe in?
I can't quite coin it a specific deity, but I'm more wondering about your concept of God. How do you define God?
A mind that created the universe.
A mind that created the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Could you boil it down to maybe a different word than mind? Could you say just kind of the concept beyond ourselves, the concept that creates, I guess, everything?
Yeah, a mind that created the universe.
Would you, what exactly do you believe in? Do you believe in a mind that created the universe?
Nope. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in any gods.
Do you believe in Big Bang?
Yes. We have evidence for it.
My wonder is how would that be different though than believing in a type of God?
It's different because first we have evidence of the Big Bang, and second we have evidence that the universe has always existed. It's eternal. So energy, time, and space. We have evidence it's always existed, which are elements of the manifold of space-time and the universe, right? So, yeah. So I don't see where you fit a God in there.
Well, my thought is, couldn't you just define God as the concept of infinity itself? So far, space and time is limitless and eternal. As you said, it's been going on. Sorry, I'm having a bit of a word blunder right now. But could you not just define eternity and infinity as God itself being an all-encompassing, everything happens guaranteed, I guess?
I guess you could, but it wouldn't fit under my definition as a mind that created a universe, because gravity and the universe doesn't have a mind. So I wouldn't define it as such unless you can demonstrate the universe has a mind.
So you're defining it as something that is intentionally creating everything.
Yeah.
So, okay, it's the intentional creation. That's what you're defining God as.
Yeah, because only minds have intent, right? So something without a mind doesn't have intent.
I mean, that's a fair point of only minds do have intent. If you are defining God as only things with minds and only things that have intent to that being God, I guess, then sure, under that definition, then it's hard to prove any sense of God, and that's boiling it down to theology. I think when it comes to philosophy, we can talk more on we all have our own individual God, and I think the Big Bang can boil down under a more broad definition.
Well, sure. I mean, if you redefine the word God, yeah. I mean, if you redefine it to whatever you want it to be, yeah, sure. Then you can say there's God. Well,
I don't mean it as a simple just redefine. More just God is a very subjective placement holder for what we believe as what is beyond us and what is the source of all creation. Even if God was a mind and God had intent, I don't think our creation would be an intended or thought worthy or meant thing. I think we'd very much so be more of a byproduct of a higher being outside of us. Not really something that is intended to exist, but one that exists nonetheless.
Well, we could be the byproduct of a giant snail that farts gases. and it just
100%.
created the universe, right? But do we call that a god?
I mean, I don't see why we wouldn't. That would make
I
sense.
mean, I guess
to
you
call it
could.
God.
Yeah, I guess you could. And then, but then the next question would be, then how would you define a god? Because it sounds like it's going under your definition, because you're saying it could be. So then how would you define a god?
I would define a God as I said, more just everything beyond myself.
Anything beyond
and-
yourself.
And what I mean by that, I mean just like my perception as anything beyond myself. I'm a little bit of an idealist. I flip flop between idealism and materialism quite a bit, where either everything has to be physical or everything has to be strictly within the mind. If everything is strictly within the mind, then I guess, okay, not everything beyond myself, but everything that's perceived could be God, I guess. A lot of religions argue that God is the all-encompassing being present within everything. And
Yeah.
that to me does kind of like further the point of potential idealism, where perception itself is God. The mind itself is God.
Okay. So then because if everything is God, then I guess we're just, then that doesn't really explain much, right? That's just like saying everything is everything. I mean, it's just
pretty like tautologist, where just like if everything's God, then nothing's God at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't really,
100%.
yeah, it doesn't really explain anything. So then we're kind of back at square one, right?
Right.
So then, so I guess then what would be God then? You know, what is God at this point? If it's everything, or if it's nothing, or
I think that's the issue when it comes to debating theology. Of when you boil it down to basically any type of theology, it comes back down to, well, you could more than likely attach that definition to the start of everything. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, you go down to you boil down Christianity to its root ideas of God. Now you can attach that to the Big Bang. You can attach that to other types of religion, so forth, where it all kind of boils down to, this is just the thing that we believe beyond ourselves, that we don't have any proof of.
Yeah, it's just a belief that we have beyond ourselves, which is what humanity has done since the beginning, right? They just, you know, there was storm gods, there was wind gods, there was this god, there was that god. It was just a placeholder for things they couldn't explain, right? And then as we got more explanations for things, then the idea of these gods began to go away. And then it eventually dwindled down to one god, and then it eventually dwindled down to its science, and science started explaining these things. And, you know, so so if it's just something we can, if it's a placeholder for things that we need to explain, I mean, how does that make it true?
So my question is less, do you believe God exists? But my question is more, do you believe we moved away from the definition of God because it was strictly attached to organized religion? I mean, I feel like science can totally adopt the term God when it comes to explaining stuff like the Big Bang. As you said, science evolved and we've been able to explain more things.
Yeah.
I think that almost in a sense is we are able to explain God. If we are able to explain the universe itself, why wouldn't that be explaining God?
Well, I mean, if you're going with the classical definition of a God, again, it sounds like it's like if you're redefining what God is, then you can say, well, yeah, we're explaining what God is. Yet I would say all throughout, like if you just read back, you know, through thousands of years of literature, you know, the idea of a God was a deity, like a supreme being that was bigger than us, more powerful than us, that could do things we couldn't do, which means it had a mind, it had intelligence, it had, you know, all these things, which implied that, I would say. And, you know, and if you just read through scriptures, if you read through all the different scriptures of the different major religions, it talks about stuff like this. You know, like these gods can do things that we can't do. And so again, yeah. So if we're redefining the word God, well, I guess, yeah, you could say we're discovering what this God is. And
well, I think of thinking of God as like a big, almost like humanoid that's doing active stuff is very strict to monoistic religions. But when you look at other cultures, like an older culture such as like first cultures, we'll talk about the San and the Khoi. They believe in very specific types of gods. They believe the cricket is, I think the cricket's justice. The cricket's justice, the elephant's the universe, so forth, and they have multiple types of gods there.
Yeah.
And they don't believe them as like very big active participators, but they believe them more as concepts. And you see stuff like that even within Christianity,
Mhm.
where they believe specific entities are instead actual like instead entities, but more concepts. Like
Yeah.
Uriel, for example. Uriel is the concept of progression. Michael, the concept of I think it's damnation,
Mhm.
and the concept of, and then Michael has the sword, the concept of suffering. I mean, it's crazy. He literally has a sword just called suffering. And then there's Gabriel, who is the concept of like peace, music, and so forth. But that's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm saying is all religions will define their own deity as a concept opposed to an individual being most of the time. There's only very few specific doctrines that define deities as like a very like an individual almost.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's some truth to that. Like, you know, because there's like, if you go into like, you know, Wiccanism or Wiccan, the Wiccan religions and things like that, it's, you know, it's more like nature, the goddess, and things of that sort. Like it's a little bit more, you know, murky, right?
Yeah,
And
they talk about Gaia, Earth itself, as like a
Gaia,
god.
and then there's fairies and things like that. Yeah, and at the end of the day, though, it just seems like it seems to be just an explanation for things that we don't know, right? We can't come up with these explanations, so we just have to, you know, it's just God of the gaps, right? And
100%.
yeah, and so I guess then the question is then, is this God real? You know, like whichever God you're talking about, right? Is it real?
Well,
And
I
then-
think it's the same way that we can. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'll let you.
No, I'll stop right there. I think that's good. Yeah,
I
go ahead.
think I feel like it's the same way that we can say God is real, that we could say gravity is real. Gravity currently is a phenomenon. I'm sure we have evidence and we can study it a little bit, but outside of the little bit of evidence and knowledge we have on it, it is practically unknown. I mean, astrophysics in itself is like, it basically takes Earth physics and says, screw it, forget it all, and throw it out the window. That is all practically unknown to us. We don't know how a black hole forms. Under that context, a black hole is also God in itself. So I think this actually goes back to what I said earlier somehow, when I thought I was wrong. But everything that is God is simply what I don't know, or what is unknown to the man. And when I say man, I just mean human. So yeah, it kind of just boils down to God is the unknown. But as of right now, we have unknown and unknown variables that science can't currently explain, which is why it becomes pretty tautologist to debate the existence of a god, or to debate the existence of not a god.
Okay, so is your reason for coming up here like talking about like why are we debating the existence of the God in the first place?
No, I was more
Is it more
wondering
that,
your
or-
perspective,
Oh, okay.
your perspective on God, as it seems insane to me to debate the idea of like if there is a God or if there's not a God, as God quite literally is just the unknown. You're a really smart person and you acknowledge it yourself that like God is our excuse for what we don't know 99.9% of the time, if not 100.
Yeah, it's a gap
With
filler.
that in mind, we have a lot of stuff that science doesn't know yet. So I feel like, of course, organized religion, super easy to debunk most of the time. Organized religion, like, kind of sucks a lot of the time. But science in itself doesn't explain a lot. So we have to acknowledge, like, there are unknowns that we can consider God in a sense.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're taking it from that standpoint, sure. Yeah, I can say that. I mean, we can consider it God, and if that's what we're calling God is just a placeholder, sure. Yeah, I can go with that. I wouldn't fight you on that. Like, oh no, I'm not going to die on that hill. It's not worth it. It's just like, yeah,
Fair.
sure. Yeah, just sure. All right. Well, you got anything else?
Yeah, I was just more. Yeah, that was mainly it. Are you debating organized religion specifically, or like, I guess the concept? 'Cause-
Really, the concept of the mind that created the universe. Really.
Okay.
I mean, it's really I do prefer like the Abrahamic God concept because
Fair.
it's and there is, you know, a big part of that is just because like there can be some dangerous beliefs behind that, right? And
100%.
yeah, and just the, you know, and if you're taking it to the ideologue place, yeah, that can get pretty dangerous. And so that's the part I want to really talk about.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'll jump down. I'll
All right.
let you have more conversation.
Yeah.
Hoping
No
you get
worries.
some good convo, good discussion going.
Okay. Well, yeah. Appreciate
I'll
you
shoot
coming
a
up.
follow.
All right. Have a good one.
Yep.
Take care.
You.
Yeah. So that was pretty. Yeah, I like that. And so that was. So once we kind of understood where it was coming from, but yeah, I mean, I got no beef with what he's saying. If he's saying, yeah, it's a placeholder, it's a gap filler. Yeah, I agree with that. That's what we want to call God. Okay, that's fine with me. I mean, but I think for the purposes of this discussion, it is, a mind that created the universe. So yeah, it was a good conversation. I enjoyed that. And I think that's so. But he had some good points. Science can't explain everything, and nobody, not even the top tier scientists nobody will say that. That's a total fact. And the other part of it is it seems to be the best we got at explaining things. Like, we have explained a lot with science, not everything, but we've explained a lot. So it might have been Amadeus. Yeah, might have been. I don't know. It was fine with me. But it was only 11 minutes, but guest queue's open. So if anyone wants to jump in, let's talk about if God is real. So your best evidence. And by the way, Amadeus Almighty, it's good to see you, friend. I do lurk in the hallways of your live from time to time, a lot. And sometimes I come in, but if anyone is not following Amadeus Almighty, you really, really should. Amadeus Almighty is a great content creator, and does does fantastic work on his lives. So everybody should follow Amadeus Almighty. He's in the chat right now. So I'm glad you're here, friend. Glad you're here. And yeah, absolutely. Usually you're on in the evenings. I think that's when I catch you. But sometimes you're on late, and that's why I can't come in, because wife's asleep, all that stuff. So I have to stay out in the hallway so I don't get too animated, because then I'll be too tempted to want to participate. So I got to stay back and watch. Got to watch from the window. Yeah. But yeah, Storm was in here the other day. I know you two are usually together, and you're both on at the same time. But oh, you know what? I think we have an announcement forthcoming. How you doing, Sonny?
Hi, good. I noticed Ember was not in the chat, so
That's right.
I figured I would give this another shot.
Fantastic. You know what? And see, Ember is my memory cue. Like, oh yeah, we have the announcement, but yeah, I didn't see them today. So okay, well, you're up. You're it.
Okay, and I did not even mentally prepare, so I'm just gonna wing it.
It's all right. Yeah, it's all good.
So welcome everybody to Trust But Verifies Live. It looks like we only have 14,000 likes, which is pretty bad. We need to keep tapping on that screen. And we are only at 40 shares, which is really not good.
In their
Normally, we're at
defense,
least
they did have 68 on the first iteration, but then I got restricted for some dumb reason. So that might have a lot to do with it. But
oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
yeah.
Well, still, if we can get these up to at least maybe back up to 60, like previously how we were, that would be great. And as it says on the background, we have a live gift goal. If we meet the gift goal, then that will do an early kick pull. And then we also offer the jellyfish, which is immediate kick of the guest. And then there in YouTube, you can do, what is it, $10?
Yeah.
$10.
There's a $5 super chat or a $10 super chat. Yeah.
Okay, so $5 for the pull?
The immediate kick pull, and then a $10 for the immediate kick.
And then $10 for immediate kick.
Yeah.
And then Trust is he's very respectful, but he can also get spicy. He always kind of meets you where you are. So if you want to get spicy with him, he's going to get spicy with you. And is there anything? Don't forget to join the Discord. There is the link in the bio, and it is open to everyone. Everyone just needs to be respectful and respect consent. And yeah, there's lots of spaces in there. And then we also have links to other Discords, and we have educational resources and a whole bunch of different safe spaces for everybody. So, is there anything I'm missing?
Oh, I think you nailed all of it. So you covered it all.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so
Thanks.
everyone request stuff is today. I know last week you were only doing believers in the Bible, Torah, or Quran. Is it today you're opening up to just the mind that created the universe?
Yeah, I'll open it up a little bit more. Yeah. Um, so yeah, I think it's good for the God is real discussion. So mind that created the
Okay,
universe.
well, you
Yeah.
guys heard it. If you believe in a mind that created the universe, get in that guest request and let's have a nice, friendly debate.
Yeah. Yeah. Appreciate it. Well, give her a round of applause. W's, take a bow, Sonny. Fantastic work. Thank you
Oh,
so
thank you.
much.
Thank you.
All right. Appreciate you, Sonny. Take care.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So, all right. So we do have a guest in the guest queue, and also, you know, we have to follow TikTok terms of service. And thank you for the kind words, Amadeus. I try to be kind, and but yeah, I mean, I match energy. So, but just remember, you have to be 18 to be on the live, and that goes for all platforms. We're gonna follow TikTok terms of service, and then also be a believer in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran, or at minimum, believe in a mind that created the universe. And then lastly, let's talk about your evidence that God is real. Okay, so we do have somebody in the queue, so let's bring them up. Let's go with Reese. Oh, they canceled. Okay, so no worries. How do you go live on YouTube too? OBS, my friend, OBS, and lots of blood, sweat, and tears. Just only for the stupid, simple reason. This may have been why I got restricted earlier, because I've been bagging on TikTok for this. Is because TikTok will not give you stream keys, so you have to do all these stupid workarounds. So I'm using OBS, this app called Voicemeeter Banana, a plugin for my computer called VB Cable, ASIO Bridge, another plugin for OBS called like ASIO, and then Video Ninja. So I'm using all these stupid plugins and all this stuff, and it was an ordeal. Like, yeah, it's quite a pain. I'm on PC. I couldn't even tell you how to do it on Mac. Now, some people I've heard they have like an alt TikTok account. They use a cable between their their computer and their phone, and they connect them together. Oh yeah, it's a fucking pain in the ass. Yeah, I wish yeah, and it was just me building this whole thing, just adding these things, doing research, adding this, see if it works, and all. Yeah, so it's so much, but now I'm afraid to touch it. Like, I don't even want to touch my computer now. I don't even want to turn it off or nothing. I'm just afraid to touch it and screw something up. And but yeah, I went through some pain, like, you know, and the audience went through some pain too, hearing echoes and not hearing people, and I'm not even 100% sure it works. I'm still not 100% sure it works, so we'll see. But yeah, so anyone who wants to join in, talk about whether or not God's real, come on up. And I may open it up for friendlies here pretty soon, because I don't want to sit here and just talk by myself the whole time. So it's just awkward. Godless Engineer, thank you. Appreciate it. Good to see you, friend. Hopefully I'll get to work with you one of these days, Godless. Hopefully one of these days. I'm like starting to do things like with the atheist community Austin. I've been on the Nonprofit show. I was on Talk Heathen. Or not Talk Heathen. I will be on Talk Heathen in March, but I was on Truth Wanted. Yeah, I was on Truth Wanted. So I'll be on Talk Heathen in March next month. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get to cross paths one of these days. I've watched you for a while, so good to see you in here. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you. And Rocky says, I have no scientific evidence God exists. And that's okay. We're not looking for science. It doesn't have to be scientific evidence. It can just be observational evidence. It could be a good logical argument. My bar is actually really low. Do you have evidence that proves that he doesn't? Yeah. Quantum mechanics. So I have scientific evidence that God doesn't exist. So quantum mechanics implies that time is eternal. The Schrodinger equation. Black Liberator, good to see you. Oh, awesome. And yeah, definitely want to do something with you. You don't going on the line? Wow. Yeah, definitely. I would love to do that. I'll DM you after I'm done. I'll DM you, Godless, and we can talk more. I would love to do that. Wow. That's what an honor. I would love to do that. But yeah, so back what I was getting to. Sorry, I got distracted. But yeah, the Schrodinger equation implies that time is eternal. And the reason why is because you can calculate the probability of the superposition of a particle at any point in time, past, present, or future, anywhere. And so if time always existed, then God didn't create time. And then that has implications for also space, because time and space are interwoven, as we've demonstrated with, as Einstein has demonstrated. That hasn't changed. So time and space are interwoven, which means space has to also exist eternally. And then also says that energy always existed. So we have time, space, and energy, which are the three basic parts of the manifold of the universe, the container we call the universe. And so if all those existed all the time, it means the universe always existed. There was nothing to create. They all scream, "Oh my God, atheist or not." I can't argue with that, user 717. Can't argue with that. So, but the other part of it, Rocky, is we can't disprove a negative. It's really, really hard to. It's kind of like trying to say, prove Santa Claus doesn't exist. But that would be my evidence that God doesn't exist. So you don't hear me like saying that too often, but that would be my evidence, scientific evidence right there. And I can come up with logical arguments too. We are manifesting our own existence in a lot of ways, yeah. Yet we have to have a reality in order to manifest our own existence, right? We must have a reality, and we must be brought into existence. We don't manifest, so manifesting our own existence also kind of implies creating it from nothing. Can you put me up? Yeah, request up. So just tap the pink and blue people at the bottom of your screen and you can come up. And if you're on YouTube, if you're lurking on YouTube watching, you can go to the guest link that's above my head. So I'm here. All right. So we got a guest. So let's bring him up. How's it going?
Yo, bro, how are you, man?
Good. Just for TikTok purposes, are you at least 18?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. And which God do you believe in?
I believe in one creator, bro.
Okay. Is it the God of the Bible, the God of the Torah, or the God of the Quran?
The God of the Quran, but I believe there is only one God. I believe the God of Jesus is the God of Muhammad and Abraham and Moses. They are all together believe in one God.
I got you. All right. Hashtag justice for Aisha. There we go. All right. What's your best evidence that God is real?
Justice for Aisha. So you, before we get into that subject, we're going to talk about atheism.
We're going to talk about atheism? Well, we're going to talk about your evidence that God is real, because that's why you come up here, right? You wanted to answer the question.
Yeah, and you say God is not real, right?
I don't believe God is real, but you see the question above my head, right?
Do you believe, so you believe nobody created the world, the universe? It's all,
no, the universe is always here.
But it doesn't have a starting point?
Nope. Does God have a starting point?
No.
Yeah, so the universe doesn't have a starting point. See, not hard a concept to understand.
What do you mean it doesn't have it? The Big Bang is that not a starting point?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
What is it then?
It's an event that happened while the universe is existing. So it's just an event. Kind of like God creating was an event, right? Like God,
does the universe come from
in your belief,
from that event?
In your belief, God always existed, right? And then God had an event where He created everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Big Bang was just an event. It was an event where everything expanded from a hot dense state. So
Oh, the Big Bang is a action. It's a reaction.
yeah, when the universe was in a
So
hot dense state.
It's
Have you ever
It's a reaction to an action.
Yeah, so what happens with really, really hot things? Like when things are really, really hot, what happens? What happens to them?
I think they melt.
They expand, right? Heat expands, right?
Yeah.
So everything was in a very, very hot, dense state, and then everything expanded. And we have evidence of that.
Yeah,
We
but
have
who
evidence.
made it expand?
Nobody did. Nobody. It's not a who, it's a what. It's the laws of physics.
Okay, who created the first human?
Probably one of the ancestors of the humans.
What do you mean?
So we have evidence from the fossil record of where we come from. So we have evidence of that.
If you go back in time, the humanity decreases or increases?
It decreases because
Until we have two
Over
people,
time.
right? Or one?
probably maybe one, maybe two, maybe a whole
Okay, and
bunch.
who-
yeah, could
And
be because we
who made
evolved.
the first one?
It would be whoever our common ancestor is. It would be our
And who,
predecessor,
and who made
ancestor.
the common ancestor?
I don't know. You can look this up. If you look up the fossil record, it'll tell you. So, yeah,
So
we
that,
can, you can
so
go
that
back through the fossil
microphone you
record.
have in front of you, the microphone you have in front of you, nobody created it. It just from
Nobody created
action,
it?
reaction, Big Bang, and the microphone started living.
Well, it's an inanimate object. It doesn't live, right? It doesn't.
Yeah, but
it
you know
doesn't.
what I mean. Is it created by somebody?
Of course it is, and we have
How do you
evidence
know?
for that.
Have
well,
you seen the guy?
the reason why is because I can contact the company and I can go to their. I can
But
probably
you didn't
visit their
contact the company. It's that your logic sense tells you that.
Yeah. So
Yeah, okay. One
okay,
moment.
so hold on,
So you
user.
don't
Hold
believe
on,
the
user.
mic- so-
Hold on, user. You got to stop
Okay,
right
go
there
on.
because you haven't answered my question. You've been peppering me with questions. I've been polite enough to answer your questions, but it's a little bit
What's your
disrespectful. It's right above my head. What is your evidence
I'm
that
an
God is
atheist.
real?
What's your best evidence that God is real?
Yep.
My best evidence is, in my opinion, what I see as facts. God chose messengers from humanity to give us the message that God is real and that He is the Creator. How
Okay.
do we know
How do we know
those
that happened?
messengers? Oh, one moment, bro. How do we know those messengers telling the truth? They come with extraordinary information that nobody else can know.
Okay. So then that
So-
validates every other religion out there. So Hindus did the same thing. Christians did the same thing.
On the beginning of the conversation, I told you I see all the messengers as one. They all tell the same message.
Okay. They all tell the same message. So that means that Allah was also Zeus?
No, nobody of the messengers told that God is Zeus. So what you talking about?
Okay. Well, they had oracles in ancient Greece who were talking to the gods. So they were called
I don't believe in your
they were
source.
called
I don't know where
messengers
you
of
get
God.
this information.
Well, it's just throughout history. So you're not aware that there were oracles who claimed that they spoke to Zeus and Apollo and the Greek
Yeah,
gods.
but what's their
Hera,
evidence?
Athena.
What's their evidence that they say they talk to somebody?
Same
Claiming
evidence you
something is
have.
not. Yeah, if you want to let me answer, I'm going to give you the evidence.
Okay.
So the messengers, they have information that nobody else has.
Yeah, that's what they said. They have information
Yeah.
only from the gods that nobody else
Yeah, okay.
has.
So no, from one God, not gods.
Well,
Not plural.
they said from the gods.
Yeah, it may be your, but the messengers I talk about don't say gods. You know.
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
So you're saying what you're telling me then is that your messengers speak the truth, but their messengers don't speak the truth.
No, I don't say that.
You don't
I
say
say, my messenger speaks the truth. Jesus also spoke the truth, but the truth that he spoke, it doesn't exist anymore. It's changed. It's altered.
that. Okay, so Jesus is the son of Allah?
No, Jesus is a prophet of Allah.
He's a prophet of Allah, but he said he was the,
Yeah,
he
sent to
said
the
he was
Jews.
but said he was the son of man. He was the son of God. That
Yeah,
God
that's
was
what
his father.
Christians say. That's not what I say.
Well, that's what it says in the Bible.
Yeah, but the Bible was, like I said, it's altered so many times you cannot
Altered so
know
many
what's
times.
the truth
Gotcha.
and what's not the truth
Gotcha.
anymore.
Okay. So then is part of Allah's realness, is it
But one moment, brother. I'm answering you, but you just, you know,
yeah,
and
I
my
got more
English
questions.
is not my number one language.
Oh yeah,
so
no problem. No problem. All right. So
what did I want
you're
to
doing
say
fine.
is, yeah, okay, thanks, no problem. The messenger, like
Uh-oh.
the messenger Muhammad, peace be
Bat
upon
signal
him.
for M's. Uh-oh. Uh-huh. Sorry, go ahead.
What do you mean by AMS, bro?
Oh, he's just one of my friends. He's a
Okay.
former Muslim.
Yeah,
He likes talking to Muslims.
yes, no problem. It's his choice.
Yeah.
But what I can say is, like the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, the universe is expanding. How could he know?
Okay.
Or a baby is described how a sperm drop evolves in the belly of the mother
Uh-huh.
to a child. He doesn't had any biology. There were no microscopes at that time.
Yeah.
And like he said, there will come a time the Arabs will be competing with each other in high buildings.
Yeah.
How can he know
Got it.
1500 years ago that the Arabs now, the Bedouin Arabs specifically, the Arabs from the desert, are building high towers with each other? How can he know, bro?
Let me ask you a question. All right. So let's just say Allah and Muhammad knew all these things. So let me ask you a question. Did Muhammad know whether it was right or wrong to marry a 6-year-old?
How do you come by he married a 6-year-old?
It's in your hadiths, isn't it? Do you not believe the hadith?
Show me, bro. You're just
Okay. So
you're just speaking without source, without nothing, without
without source,
information.
without nothing? Okay. So we'll bring up the Aisha hadith.
Without bringing it up. When what was the normal age of marriage 1,000 years ago?
Oh, I imagine it was very, very young. And so
Okay.
was it right or wrong back then
So-
to marry
so
a
if it-
Hold on.
so if it-
I got a
if it-
question for you.
So
Hold on.
one moment. If it
I got a
was
question
very
for
young,
you.
huh?
I got a question for you. Was it right or wrong to marry a 6-year-old back then?
He didn't marry a 6-year-old.
So he didn't marry a 6-year-old?
No, he didn't marry a 6-year-old.
So Aisha was lying in the hadith?
No,
No?
I don't know which hadith you talk about, but she wasn't 6.
All right, let me bring it up on screen. So, you're not aware of this hadith? You see it above my head?
Yeah, I see it.
That the Prophet married her when she was 6-year-old and he consummated his marriage when she was 9. Hisham said, I have been informed that Aisha remained with the Prophet for 9 years until his death. So is that true or not true?
It can be true. If it's
It
Sahih
can
and
be
Bukhari,
true?
Yes, it can.
Okay.
It can be true, but
So you're aware of this?
Wait one moment. He
Wait, hold
consumed
on.
the marriage at 9.
He consummated the marriage at 9.
At
yeah.
9, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is it right or wrong to consummate a marriage with a 9-year-old?
In that time, it was very normal.
It was very normal. Was it right?
Yes.
Was it morally
Why,
right?
why don't you talk about his other wives that is 10 years or 20 years older than him?
Because I want to talk about this one.
Okay, but you want to make him like he's somebody, peace be upon him, who likes little girls. That's what you're saying, right? That's what you want to make of him.
Well, I'm thinking, she was 9 years old, right? Is
Okay,
9-year-old and police be upon him
Why
is
didn't
9-year-old
he
is
complete the
9-year-old.
marriage at 6?
Okay, well, police be upon him is 9 years old a little girl? Yes or no?
In that time, Islam has a couple of rules for marriage.
Mm-hmm. Was he within the rules when Muhammad, police be
One of
upon
the
him,
rules
married
is
a 9-year-old girl?
The girl, if she doesn't want to get married, it's not lawful to get her married if she doesn't want to get married.
Okay,
That's the
so-
first rule.
Okay, so
The second rule is-
what you're saying is that Aisha wanted to marry Muhammad, police be upon him.
Yeah, if she didn't want to, then the marriage wasn't gonna go on.
Okay, so she didn't want to. So what you're saying is that
Who said she
we need.
didn't want to?
Okay, but
Who said
we
she
need
didn't
to.
want to?
She didn't want to, but you're saying then that
How do you know?
So hold on. Are you saying then that Muhammad, police be upon him, didn't have to decide, but
It's peace be
Aisha?
upon him. It's not police be upon him, it's peace be upon him.
Okay.
But before we go to this subject, like I was telling you, all the things, all the information that he said that nobody else can know,
Uh-huh.
confirms that he is what he says he is. You
Yeah.
know, but you want to stick to one subject that you don't have knowledge about at all, and you want to stick to that subject.
just
but
reading
you
what it
wanna
says.
Ignore, no,
I'm
but
just
one
reading what
moment.
it
You
says,
wanna
friend.
you want to ignore all the information that tells that he is the truthful prophet. But you
Okay.
want to ignore that because you want to follow your desires, and then you want to make him a bad guy. But in the end, you're the one
It's a hell of a
who's
crash out.
come again.
Oh, I was just talking to my chat. Go ahead. Go ahead. Keep
Crash
crashing out.
out.
Yeah.
I never crash out, brother. I never crash out because I told you in the beginning, English is not my best language. That's why sometimes I'm thinking about the words.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not crashing out. And at the end, brother, and don't think I call you brother because you are my brother. I just call you brother because that's a form of speech, you know?
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. But
Yeah, you could
don't
do
get it
that.
twisted, you know? Don't
Yeah.
get it twisted.
Okay. So
And
so
for the rest, you're not a sincere guy. If you are a sincere guy who looking for the truth, you would talk in a different way.
okay.
But you're
So
not
let
a
me
sincere guy. You
All right.
only want to entertain your followers on TikTok to make a little bit of cash.
let's
I
not
understand that,
let's not go meta
but-
here. So let's
No,
kind of
it's
get
not
back
about
let's
meta
get
or
back
not
to the
meta.
topic at hand.
You're a house nigger that want to make some cash.
Oof.
That's it.
Oof.
You're a house nigger that want to lick white balls.
Oof. Oof. That's a crash out. Yeah, I had to get rid of him after that because he said the N-word. And there it is. So I guess he didn't like Muhammad, police be upon him. But you know, I'm not the one cooning for God. I'm just saying. Because if you're cooning for, you know, when you coon for God like that, you defend your prophet, police be upon him, marrying 9-year-olds. And it says it right there. Wow. So, see, you know what? It doesn't take much, right? It just doesn't take much. And that's why I started with Justice for Aisha. Hashtag Justice for Aisha. That's why I started with it. And there it goes. Never fails. See, I think anytime you talk to a Muslim, you should only talk about Aisha. Just go straight there. Because you can't get past that. I'm just saying, cannot get past it. I mean, it's like end of conversation. If your prophet marries a 6-year-old and beds her when she's 9, but he waited till she was 9. You don't need to go further than that. That should be where the conversation starts and ends. So, if that's what you're gonna, and that's exactly where I'm gonna go every time. We're just gonna go straight to Aisha. So. Let's see if we can find another first timer. We got 3 in the queue now. All right. Let's see what we got with this one. How's it going? I'm doing well. Are you at least 18?
Yes.
All right. Fantastic. Okay. Which God do you believe in?
Christian.
Christian. Fantastic. All right. What's your best evidence that this God is real?
Well, first I'd like to apologize for how the other guy treated you, even though, it's not my fault, but
It's
you
not
were
your
being
fault.
very respectful.
Yeah.
First, I'd like to ask you a question. Do you believe that Jesus Christ existed?
Sure.
All right. So, do you know all the historical documents about Jesus Christ?
I know the one main one. There's one by Josephus also. There's also, I think maybe Pliny might have said something about that. Tacitus. Yeah. But we don't have anything on Jesus's resurrection and ascension into heaven, do we?
Oh, yeah, I know we don't have that.
Yeah.
But we know that he died on a cross from historical document.
Yep.
And we know across various religions and various non-religious texts that he has been found doing some sort of miracles and or good works or magic.
Claims, yeah. But we have claims of magic in other religions that have crossed religions as well, right? So does that make those all true?
No.
Okay, so how does that make Jesus's magic true?
Well,
If-
I'm just telling you this now. I'm going to link it to something later, okay?
Okay.
But you know that the Old Testament existed before Jesus Christ existed, right?
The Old Testament, yes, it did.
Yes.
Mhm.
And the Old Testament speaks about Jesus.
Yes and no. Actually, my favorite one is Deuteronomy 13. That's the one that I think that's the only prophecy I think Jesus fulfilled. You familiar with
can you-
Deuteronomy 13? Yeah, we can pull it up.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, I just happened to have it from yesterday. Okay. So let me go to that screen. Have you read Deuteronomy 13?
I probably have. It's just I
Okay.
don't have a Bible right now, so.
Okay, so Deuteronomy 13 says, if prophets are those who divine by dreams appear among you and show you omens or portents, and the omens or the portents declare them by them take place, and they say, let us follow other gods whom you have not known, and let us serve them, you must not heed the words of those prophets or those who divine by dreams, for the Lord your God is testing you to know whether you indeed love the Lord God with all your heart and soul. The Lord your God, you shall follow, him alone you shall fear, his commands you shall keep, his voice you shall obey him, you shall serve, and to him you shall hold fast. But those prophets or those who divine by dreams shall be put to death for having spoken treason against the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt and redeemed you from the house of slavery, to turn you from the way in which the Lord your God commanded you to walk. So you shall purge the evil from your midst. So I think definitely this one describes Jesus to a T.
I think that's a good verse.
Yeah.
But what about the verse that says the Savior will be born from a virgin?
Oh, which one is that?
Hold up. I don't have the Bible on me, but can you just look it up?
Okay. Are you talking about Isaiah 7:14? Because that doesn't talk about Jesus at all.
Then who's it talking about?
Oh, you want to go into it? We can look at it.
Yeah, if the verse says that the Savior will be born of a virgin.
Okay. So it doesn't say a savior. So the thing is that we have to look at, so this is the one you're talking about, right? Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Look, the young woman is with child and bear a son and shall name him Emmanuel. Is that the one you're talking about?
No, that's not the one I'm talking about.
Okay.
But that's one of them. So if you want to talk about it right now, then we can go
Okay.
back to mine later.
And so it doesn't name Jesus specifically, does it? It just says a
No,
savior, right?
Yeah.
And how do we know Jesus is the savior?
Jesus answered, I am the Messiah.
I am the
And the-
Messiah. Yeah. But a lot of people said that. He was the one that was the only one that was recorded saying that. But there were a lot of so-called messiahs back then. So how do we know Jesus was the Messiah?
Hmm. That's a really good question.
Yeah.
But can you pull up the verse I was talking about?
I'm not sure exactly which one that is. So if you've got maybe chat can help us out. Or I can probably look it up. Maybe Gemini can help us. So let's see. Bible verse. Old Testament.
I think they're not Christianity occult. Oh, yep, they are. Oh.
Savior born
That's
of a
right.
virgin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of know which one you're talking about, but okay, this one is saying Isaiah 7:14, because I think what you might be referring to is Matthew chapter 1.
This is
because-
what I wanted to talk about. Jesse Cooper, the actual translation isn't just young woman. The full translation is young woman of marriageable age expected to be a virgin. So it says, the Savior shall be born of a young woman of marriageable age expected to be a virgin.
Oh, okay. You're talking about Matthew 1 verses 22 and 23. That's the one you're talking about, right? Is that the one you're referring to?
I believe so.
Is it this one? Okay. So interesting thing about that. So this is the one, Matthew 1, 22, 23. All this took place to fulfill what had been spoken by the Lord through the prophet. Look, the virgin shall become pregnant and give birth to a son, and they shall name him Emmanuel, which means God is with us. Is this the one you're talking about?
No, mine's a completely different one, but we can talk about this one once again.
Okay.
They're saying that it's Isaiah 7:14 that says it.
Yeah, it's Isaiah 7:14, the original one I showed you. So so do you know the whole history behind this?
The whole history behind which one?
well, the entire context behind Isaiah 7 verse 14. There's like an entire context of that.
Not on the top of my mind, no.
Okay.
But you can
So
correct me.
yeah, so what this is referring to is this is Isaiah going to King Ahaz, because King Ahaz was in a potential conflict with two other kings, King Rezin of Aram and King Pekah, son of Remaliah. And those two had combined forces to try to defeat King Ahaz. They were planning to attack him here. So it says here, here, let me make sure that my window shows it correctly. Okay, there we go. So it says here, in the days of Ahaz, son of Jotham, son of Uzziah, king of Judah, King Rezin of Aram, and King Pekah, son of Remaliah of Israel, went up to attack Jerusalem, but could not conquer it. When the house of David heard that Aram had allied itself with Ephraim, the heart of Ahaz and the heart of his people shook as the trees of the forest shake before the wind. Then the Lord said to Isaiah, "Go out to meet Ahaz, you and your son Shear-Jashub." Oh boy, there it goes. "At the end of the conduit of the upper pool in the highway to the fuller's field, and say to him, take heed, be quiet, do not fear, and do not let your heart be faint because of the two smoldering stumps of firebrands." Now, the two smoldering stumps of firebrands refers to King Rezin of Aram and King Pekah, son of Remaliah, because they had joined forces against him, right? And that they had allied themselves with Ephraim. So, I'm sorry, excuse me. Aram had allied them. He had allied with Ephraim. So if those are the two firebrands, because of the fierce anger of Rezin and Aram and the son of Remaliah, because Aram with Ephraim and the son of Remaliah, so now he has three different armies to deal with, has plotted evil against you, saying, "Let us go up against Judah and terrify it and conquer it for ourselves and make the son of Tabeel king in it." So what they were planning to do was the three of them were going to attack King Ahaz. They were going to depose him, unalive him, and then they were going to put their own king in there so they can control the whole area, the son of Tabeel. "Therefore, thus says the Lord God, it shall not stand and it shall not come to pass, for the head of Aram is Damascus and the head of Damascus is Rezin." So he also says, within 65 years, Ephraim will be shattered, which didn't happen, no longer people. So that's the backstory behind that, right? So now, if we skip a little bit to 10, Isaiah gives Ahaz the sign of Emmanuel. Again, the Lord spoke to Ahaz, saying, "Ask a sign of the Lord your God, let it be deep as Sheol or as high as heaven." But Ahaz said, "I will not ask, and I will not put the Lord to the test." Then Isaiah said, "Hear then, O house of David, is it too little for you weary mortals that you weary my God also? Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Look, the young woman is with child and shall bear a son and shall name him Emmanuel." See, here's the thing. The reason why we know this is what Matthew was talking about and that Matthew screwed it up is because this was in Hebrew and Matthew could not read Hebrew. He could read Greek. And so what he read what he thought he saw, but we know that this is what he's referring to. "He shall eat curds and honey by the time he knows how to refuse the evil and choose the good. For before the child knows how to refuse the evil and choose the good, the land before those two kings you are in dread will be deserted. The Lord will bring on you and your people and your ancestral house such days as not come since the day that Ephraim departed from Judah, the king of Assyria." So this is what Matthew is talking about in chapter 1, verses 22 and 23. So if we skip ahead to Isaiah 8, this is where you see it all go down.
Okay. I'm still paying it.
Yeah, I'm just typing in the next part of it because I gotta kind of skip. I don't know exactly where in Isaiah 8 it says that. I think it. Yeah. Okay. So basically, if you read through 8, it talks about they beat back the armies, and so now I'm trying to see the part where they say. It's got the, where it says the woman bore the child. Oh, there it is. Okay. So it's right at the beginning. "Then the Lord said to me, take a large tablet and write on its common characters belonging to Maher-Shalal-Hash-Baz and have it attested for me by reliable witnesses, the priest Uriah and Zechariah, son of Jeberechiah. And I went to the prophetess and she conceived and bore a son." So that's who we're talking about. "Then the Lord said to me, name him Maher-Shalal-Hash-Baz, for before the child knows how to call my father or my mother, the wealth of Damascus and the spoil of Samaria will be carried away by the king of Syria." So this is Isaiah like celebrating that this actually happened. So essentially it was the prophetess that was bearing the child. So, and that is how we know that everything happened the way it happened. So if you read through Isaiah chapter 7 and 8, you'll see what the entire context is, and then you'll see that Matthew got that wrong. So that was definitely not a prophecy of Jesus, because the prophecy was for King Ahaz, which says it right here, clear as day.
Yeah, that is true.
Mhm.
But I didn't see the one that said that they would be born from a hold up,
The
oh
prophetess?
my god, I'll speak today. That they will be born from that he will be born from a virgin.
Yeah, because see, again, Matthew got it wrong. There's nothing in there that says he was born of a virgin. It says,
Oh.
the young woman is with child and shall bear a son and shall name him Emmanuel. And see, the important distinction here is that they use the Hebrew word for young woman, and there are two different words for a young woman and then a young woman that is a virgin, right? And so in the ancient Greek, there's only one word that is interchangeable between young woman and virgin. And so that's how we know that the writers of Matthew got it wrong and they misinterpreted this, is because
Yeah,
they only had one term for young woman versus virgin. And in Hebrew they
The,
had two different terms.
The full translation for that word is young woman of marriageable age expected to be a virgin.
Yeah, expected to be. But see, we had two different words for young woman in Hebrew. And this one and the one that they used usually for virgin was not this word. I can look up the exact word for you. I'll have to go to I'll have to cheat and I'll have to go to Justin's spreadsheet for that. Give me a second. It says
I
right
don't know
here.
why you're mad at me. Like,
Hmm?
am I wrong for believing in God? Sorry, it's your chat. I'm also paying attention to you though.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I mean, I'm doing a little bit of research, so I guess, yeah, you can talk to chat, but,
Debating isn't about changing people's minds. It's just about saying your points. So
there it is. JC Prophecies. There it is. The virgin birth. Is this it? Yeah. Okay. So it's Isaiah 8 through 10. Yeah. So it's 10 through 17. And so, yeah, so the specific word is what we're looking at. And, let me see if I can find that. ISAIH. Okay. So the specific word is, there it is.
what attitude do I have? Sorry, they're saying I have like an attitude. I thought I was being nice.
No, I think you're being fine. I don't think there was an issue here at all.
Also, many people have many different truths. We are DNA.
Okay. So
Yeah, I don't like. I don't usually debate about this. It's just like I figured that I don't know. I just wanted to talk to you.
yeah.
I usually debate about abortion and stuff.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I suppose we can you mean like abortion in Numbers 31? That type of abortion that God had a law for?
Oh, I mean like abortion out of days, not in the Bible.
Oh,
But,
okay. Okay. All right. And so, okay, I see. And so are you saying, and what about that? Like, I'm just curious.
Oh no, they were saying that I'm not a debater because I didn't come equipped with information.
Well, no, this is more of a conversation, if anything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine if you, yeah, I'm not busting you up for that. I mean, yeah, I do ask that people have evidence and then we can look at the evidence together, like whatever you got. And with people who are kind and, respectful, I'll go like dig up stuff, you know what I mean? But I mean,
Yeah.
people who have been like, they've been jerks to me and, they won't have the information ready and I'll be like, well, come back with it, Yeah, I don't mind doing a little bit of legwork for people if, if they're respectful. So I don't have a problem with that. Yeah.
I'm gonna stop wasting my time.
Okay.
I mean, wasting your time, not my time. I'm sorry, that sounded rude. I'm gonna follow you though because you were respectful. Maybe I
Okay.
can come back with more information later.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
okay,
Yeah. Okay.
God bless you.
All right. Well,
Have a
cheers.
great day.
All right. Enjoy the rest of
God
your day.
bless you.
All right. Take care. All right. So yeah, he wanted to come back, and that's fair. So, which is funny because I wanted to finish with the Hebrew word for virgin, but I didn't get to. That's okay. I mean, it's pretty easy to look up. So, okay. Well, it's just funny because like I'll have like when a guest comes in, I'll have like 3 or 4 guests waiting, and then they all leave, and then I'm like left with no guests. Chat scared him. Maybe so, but yeah, I had like 3 people waiting, and then suddenly there are none. Man, that's just the way it goes. So yeah, if you are in the hallway, if you're thinking of coming up, yeah, don't be scared of chat. Yeah, they can be tough, but I'm not. So, don't worry about them. But yeah, so request up if you believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, the Quran. If you're at least 18, and if you have evidence that God is real, let's talk about it. Let's discuss. So, Mullahask, atheists are incapable of understanding. Well, come on up and help me understand, Mullahask. Maybe you can do that. How's it going?
Good. How you doing, my friend?
Doing well.
I'm trying this new recipe. It's garlic butter noodles with
Oh.
Parmesan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Totally dig. I got my appetite back finally.
There you go.
Finally. Yeah. It's
There you
been
go.
Wild.
Right on.
Because I lost like 25 pounds.
Yeah. 80% of the world believes in a God. That's part of the 2% doubt, belief that I have that maybe God might be real. Yet it's also plausible that 80% of the world is in a mass delusion. So that doesn't really demonstrate that God's real. Well, I'm glad you got your appetite back. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
that's good. That's good to hear. So,
And I was able to raid you I couldn't find a lot of people today. I think it's a slow day.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not
But you
sure.
were the only one. I'm like, go raid Trust.
Okay. Well, hey, works for me. That
And
totally
Glass
works for me.
Mama's here.
Yeah.
We just got done talking on the phone.
Good. Well, good.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
So
Good
how are
to
you?
hear. Oh, I'm doing all right. Just doing my thing. Nothing,
Nice.
nothing in particular standing out. Hey, Jessica, how are you?
Hey, friends. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to hear from you, friend.
Yeah, I just had a question because I came in the middle of the last guy. So, like, what was his evidence? Because you guys were just talking about virgins and I was lost.
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning.
Yeah. He said that because Jesus fulfilled the prophecy of being the Savior was born of a virgin. And so the first thing I said was, well, it doesn't say Jesus was born. It just says a Savior. So how do we know that Jesus is the Savior? So got him on that one.
Oh.
And then he said, and then we went into the scripture and he was talking about Isaiah 7, verse 14, which it doesn't say a Savior born of a virgin. It says that in Matthew chapter 1, verses 22 and 23. And it's because Matthew mistranslated, or whoever wrote Matthew mistranslated the Hebrew, because the Hebrew says a young woman. And that was a Hebrew word that was interchangeable. Well, they had 2 different words for young woman. One that was a young woman, and then one that was a young woman who was a virgin. And they used the one for young woman. And in ancient Greek, they only had one word that was interchangeable with young woman and a young woman who was a virgin.
Okay.
were
All
both
right. I'm
interchangeable.
caught up now.
All right, you
All
caught
right.
up.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, you got it.
What happened?
You got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So as both sides said, lost in translation. That's what it was. So then he opted to say, well, I'll come back. He said, I'll bring more evidence. I'll come back. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. But
Cat
you missed.
scared him away.
Yeah. But yeah, chat scared him. But you missed a crash out with the Muslim.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You missed that. Yeah. If you go to my
Was it-
YouTube, you can rewind back like about 20 minutes and you'll hear it.
Okay. Do
20
you post them
minutes-ish.
after on YouTube?
I'm live right now, so you can go on live and you can just rewind about 20 minutes, Or you can wait
Okay.
until it's posted. Yeah, it's saved like immediately after I'm done. So
Okay.
either way, yeah. But it's
Bet.
there. Yeah,
Bet.
it was a man. You know what? All I said was I just started with justice for Aisha, and then I just kept saying Muhammad, police be upon him. So I don't know. Might have
And he
touched a nerve.
crashed.
Yeah, might have touched a nerve.
Oh boy, yeah. There's book is kind of easy to refute because
Oh, yeah.
why is she so young? Like that's just wild.
I think we should only be talking about that. We
Right.
shouldn't talk about anything else. It doesn't matter at that point. It's like,
Right. Because how do you get past that?
mm-hmm.
I kind
That's-
of want to go up to my Muslim friends and be like, what y'all think about this?
Yeah. I'm saying just be careful. I mean, you know.
Oh yeah.
You gotta be very
Crash
careful.
out on me too.
Yeah, exactly. So we want you around, Jessica. We want you to be. We like
Right.
you. We don't want.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we
I'm
don't
glad
like
y'all
one
do.
day. Yeah, like man, we haven't seen Jessica in a while. What happened to her? Oh, I hope she
Picked
didn't
the
like ask
wrong
nobody.
one.
Yeah, picked the wrong one. We don't want that to happen. I'm just saying,
Right.
just
Nah,
saying.
I hear you. Must have been an epic crash out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Exactly.
gonna listen.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, even I mean, I went into a couple of temples, like mosques, excuse me, a couple of mosques, and I didn't even bring that up. I wouldn't dare bring that up. I just talked, just talking in general. I wouldn't even. That's like sticking my hand in a blender. You know, wouldn't do that.
Yeah. So that means they low key know it's wrong. That's why people crash out when they know they're wrong. They don't really
Yeah.
have any other way to respond to it except emotion. So
Yeah, exactly.
like deep down they know that's crazy.
Yeah,
Well, they say
exactly.
that we're the ones that cherry pick, and it's like I had one crash out today in my life because it says strictly in Matthew 7:1-2, not to judge. It warns not to judge, which means Christians are not to judge. And this one guy was like, but if you read in such and such, it says this. No, it strictly says you are not to judge other people. Like, it's wild to me.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, especially if you have like a plank in your own eye and the other person has a speck. and you
That's
judging
the,
them.
yeah,
Exactly.
because I was talking about the LGBTQ community, and I know they get uncomfortable with that topic and they hate when I bring it up. And
Yeah.
it's like I put them in a fucking corner and then they all go fucking wild and then they, shriver like a little worm.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So Anessa says they're disappointed because I was respectful until this point. Well, all I gotta say is, if we're talking about a prophet that consummated a marriage with a 9-year-old, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Right.
If that's what we're talking about, and that I wasn't respectful about that, well, I don't think I have to be.
Marriage with a
I'm not-
9-year-old? Where
yeah,
the
I'm not-
hell is that at?
Oh, it's in the hadiths.
Quran.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in the, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, Muhammad married a 9-year-old.
Oh my God.
Well,
That's so
what
gross.
they make clear is they said no, he married a 6-year-old and waited until she was 9 to consummate. That's what they make clear, like as if that makes it any better.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, that's
Yeah.
so gross.
Now I heard another one where one lady gave me evidence that she said, well, what we have evidence is actually she was 16 and then they consummated at 19. And I'm like, and how old was he? And he's like, oh, he was like 50 something. Okay, that doesn't make it any better. What? Okay, what the
That
Jeffrey
is
Epstein? What?
completely, like, yeah, P3DO shit.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Okay, that doesn't matter. I mean, we're still not there. And all I asked her was, okay, so let's just imagine your cousin comes home and says to you, hey, I met the greatest guy. And your cousin's 16. Your 16-year-old cousin says, I met the greatest guy. Oh, great. Who is he? I want to bring him home. And I think I'm in love. I'm going to marry this guy. Oh, well, you might be too young to marry the 16-year-old, right? And then they bring him home and it's this 53-year-old dude. It's me. Right? I'm 54. Someone like me, all right? And I'm like, and I just asked her, are you going to the wedding? Like, no, you're not going to the wedding. You're not going. Come on. Come on, let's be real. Yeah,
That's wild.
yeah. So it doesn't make it any better.
Yeah, I learned about that in this laws. I didn't even know that. And I'm like,
Mhm.
what? And people are like defending this, and they
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
like my daughter's 15. I mean, seriously, no court would convict me, but I'm sorry. He brought home a 50-something-year-old man. I'm
I'd
just
be
saying.
asking questions.
I'd be doing a lot more than asking questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. I'd
In
be-
combat.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So that'd be the questions I'd be asking.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's wild.
Yeah. Like beating the brakes off of them. That'd be the questions I'd be asking. So yeah. So just the fact that they're trying to justify, like nobody would justify this. Nobody. Like,
No.
so it's just wild. So so to me, that's the one we got to keep asking. That's the one we got to keep talking about. It just put them on the spot because there's just no getting around that. No
Right.
getting around that at all. Yeah.
That's so
So-
goddamn crazy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And for everybody's education. So anybody who wants to go live and talk about this, so if you get a Muslim in your live, you're going to want to look at Hadith Bukhari 5134. That's all you got to do is just Google that. Or just Google Hadith, Hadith, Aisha, and that's it. That's all you got to Google. And maybe you can toss in, married Muhammad, and you'll find it. It's like the first one that comes up. Just really easy. So it says it right there. And there's more. There's actually more about her verifying that she married him. So yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
God, the more I learn about these Bibles, the I'm glad I'm deconstructed. It's fucking crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's why I come here, because I already deconstructed, but I'm just learning stuff I didn't even know. I'm like,
Mhm.
man, I wonder how long I would have held on if I knew all this.
How long did you deconstruct, Jessica?
How long ago? What was it, like 6 years ago?
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm 4 months into it now, I think.
Oh, okay.
In
So-
fact, you know what's funny? I found I think Deconstruction Zone posted it in YouTube 3 months ago, Trust. I found an old video and it had my old name, Thump Around and Find Out, with the rainbow thing. And I
Mhm.
went back last night, I'm listening to it. I'm like, God, was I really oh my God, I was really involved into this shit, wasn't I? This is fucking wild. But the thing that I liked about you, that I like about you is you break it down Barney style. You don't condemn me for it. You don't sit there and, harp on me for it. You just break it down where it's easy to understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think the only part where I get a little bit spicy with people is that they start lying, and you didn't do any of that. You were just like, oh, well, yeah, that's a little tough, and
Yeah.
but the
But
ones
it makes
who,
you think,
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Reckless, are you still in like the grieving phase? Because I was grieving for a while after I deconstructed, because it was so much of my identity.
Yeah, like I'm going through a lot of therapy with Kylie, the religious trauma part of the whole
Okay.
thing. And it can be rough.
Yeah, because
See,
that
what
first
happened,
year.
well, like
Go
Trust
ahead.
said, is I took all of my past and I gave it to Jesus's feet, which means I just buried it and didn't deal with it. And I just fucking just left it alone.
Yeah.
$3 6 pencils. You're very kind. Trust in spicy mode is me on my absolute nicest day.
We read so much grief.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard. Like hearing Christian music in public, it would just make me feel like anxious, because that was
Mhm.
my identity. Like I was that Jesus girl. Like I was
Yeah.
telling everybody, read your Bible, pray, come to Bible study, and all
Yeah.
this stuff. And like
True.
I was in it. Like
Yeah,
was
I
even, like,
I couldn't listen to
yeah.
gospel for a long, long time.
Yes.
So just
yes,
recently I'm
years.
back. Yeah, because I can just enjoy it now, right? It's like, okay, I can listen to it and enjoy it now because it's beautiful. But for a long time I just couldn't really stomach it. Couldn't listen to it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just crazy how much emotions you go through.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to learn who you are. Like, who am I now?
Thank you, $3. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Who
I know
am I?
now, but yeah, back then,
Mhm.
that was my I was identified with Christ and all that. So I was just like,
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
didn't need an identity.
Yeah, exactly. So,
But
at this point, and that's the thing is, I think at this point in my life, like once I realized that, I think the toughest part to get over was the whole, eternity thing, right? But I started thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know, it doesn't sound good what it's going to be like, I don't know, like 20,000 years from now, and you're only like into just a little bit of eternity, because, eternity is a long time. So like 20,000 years from now, and that's only just like a small blip, right? And
yeah,
and I just started thinking about, okay, how many meals is that? Like, how many places can you go? How many video games can you play? How many books can you read? Like you after about 20,000 years, you pretty much have done everything there is to do, right? And you're just sitting around waiting for like the next book to come out. Like, damn. And then you finish it and you're like, okay, that was fun. What next? I'd just be bored, and that would suck. To me, I did not like that at all. So I'm like,
What was the hardest part of your deconstruction, Trust?
Mine was, I think the part of I think the fear of what if I stop believing, the fear of what would happen, if I stopped believing. It was fear. Yeah, it was that fear.
Yeah.
It was really, really hard to get over. The fear, like, what if I'm wrong? And it just that was really, really hard to get past, because if I'm wrong, man, oh my goodness. But I had to keep thinking it through, like, okay, so if I don't believe this because there's not enough evidence to believe it, well, that's not on me, that's on God,
right.
Yeah, because if he's all powerful and he's all knowing, he would be able to just simply give me the evidence I need, right? Or give it to everybody, like, right? Because he's all powerful, he could just do it, and everybody would know. A, or B, he would know exactly what it would take to make me believe, to help me believe. Like, he would.
Were you already in the priesthood when you deconstructed?
I never actually joined. I was gonna go.
Okay.
I decided to go. I got into the school that had a seminary. And by this time I applied and got accepted, I'd already read through the Bible once. And that planted the seed of doubt right there. Like, just reading through the whole thing, like, oh goodness, I didn't know all this. Kind of like what you started with, Jessica. I didn't know about all this. Wait, nobody told me about this. And so but then I was like, no, but I'm gonna go anyway. Just being stubborn. But then turned out I didn't get a scholarship to get in, and I couldn't afford to get in because it was really expensive school. So ended up not going. Yeah, so ended up going to a public college. And much expensive option. Still good school, but much less expensive option. And then, so I never really went. I didn't go. Yeah, never went to the seminary.
Okay.
So
Then I
kept
heard
reading
that
the Bible.
wrong.
Nah, it's all right. Yeah. Oh my God,
Yeah.
God saved you, Godwin. Probably true. Might be true. Yeah, that might be true. Yeah.
The hardest part for me was all my Christian friends saying, I'm so grieved for your soul. Like, no,
Yeah,
And-
they think we're always fucking sad. I had one today that said, well, you're unhappy. Like, aren't you ever happy? Okay, so I'm not happy, but I'm content. I'm content with my life right now. Like, I'm able to take my son out to lunch. I'm able to do things that I want to do without being tied to like church activities and tithing and all that shit, because it took like 90% of my time and I didn't have time with my son. And I'm working on like not feeling guilty for that, because I in the beginning of this whole deconstruction process, I was feeling really guilty. Like, I was the most horrible mom on the planet.
Oh,
Well,
I don't feel like
Yeah.
that.
Pseudo V
You're doing your
Science.
best.
Yeah, Pseudo V Science in the YouTube chat says, I had originally signed up for biology courses to prove evolution wrong. Yes, that was arrogant. I was that arrogant. When I got there, I was forced to see reality, stayed in college and began deconstruction. Yeah, and I think that's a part of it, is like, it just begins with education. You start learning things, you start seeing things, and then it's like your mind just can't reconcile it. And I think that's what, I mean, shoot, I went through my tough times. I went through a lot of tough times. And I think that was a lot of it, was trying to reconcile this and not being able to. Literally drove me crazy. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Literally
nobody
did.
you can't prove, like you said, you don't know that what happened with Jesus when he was in the tomb. Like anything could happen. Nobody was there. You just came to an empty tomb. Like that's not enough for me to just base my whole life on this anymore.
Exactly.
Like I had mentioned, like I was in like a bad marriage, and everybody's just like, "Well, stay because divorce is a sin." I'm like, "Well, stay for what? Like it's not enough in this Bible for me to stay."
Yeah.
And that's what's on my mind, because I'm just like, "What are y'all talking about? Like what?"
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think for also, you know, for people of color, it can be very difficult to deconstruct because it is so ingrained in the community.
Yes.
And there's other communities like that too, like Mormonism and all that stuff, but especially in the Black community. It is so part of your culture, of your community, your culture, everything. You know, it's all centered around church. So that's that's effectively isolating yourself. Like you're just like, okay, guess I'm not going any more barbecues. Damn. You know, like we're a lot less.
All my friends.
Yeah, as all my friends are. Yeah, exactly. And the inevitable questions: Why haven't you been at church? Why haven't we seen you at church? You got to come to church. Yeah, just endless. Endless.
But but it's weird. Like, how can I be friends with somebody who just thinks I'm going to hell? Like, that's awkward to me.
That too. Yeah, exactly.
I think in my opinion, I think the people of color get the most hate, and that really makes me sad.
Yeah,
we do. Yeah,
we go through a lot.
We go through a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
yeah,
it's just really sad that I see, like, my neighbor across from me. She's a person of color and beautiful lady, and she recently deconstructed, and she says, "You wouldn't believe the hate that I get, like, all over the place." And it really makes me sad because, you know, it's not, at the end of the day, we're all people. It shouldn't even be about fucking color.
Exactly. Right. Decon Recon, I got threatened with hell 2 times today. Yeah. Threatened with hell. Yeah, that's a pretty common one too. Yeah. The threat of hell. That's the one you get a lot too. Yeah. And it's like that seems to be the go-to one. Like if they got nothing else, if they got no way to answer your questions, and it's like, okay, then they usually I warned you. Yeah, don't say I didn't tell you so. Or they seem to delight in it. Like,
oh, I know.
Man, it's like they have
forever. It's like this. They have this big dick ego about it. It's like, yeah, I got you now, motherfucker.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, then I started thinking, okay, so I just started plugging in other things that were like ridiculous in my life. Like, okay, so what they're saying then is this is like the monsters in the closet saying, don't see, I told you there's monsters in the closet. And if you don't believe in them, they're going to get you. They're going to eat you. And, you know, and so when I started just plugging in different things, it just sounded silly. It just started to sound really silly. Like the choosing to believe one. That's a good one too. Like, okay, so what if somebody said, oh, you just, you know, okay, you can choose not to believe in Santa Claus. I guess you can do that. Like you just think you'd laugh at them. You just laugh at people if they said that to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the guy yesterday is trying to say, oh, yeah, I believe in leprechauns. I choose to believe it.
Exactly.
It's like, bro, get off the live. Like,
Exactly.
You're doing too much.
Yeah. Oh, okay, we have Rachel McCullough who's up. Well, maybe, I'm not sure. They might be a believer or not, but hang on. Hang tight, guys. Let's see. How you doing, Rachel? Hi. How old are you?
I'm 26.
All right. And do you believe in the God of the Bible, the Torah, or the Quran?
I guess the God of the Bible would be the best accurate way.
All right, Rachel. Okay. All right. Well, what's your best evidence that this God is real?
I would say, and this is just like, you'll probably be like, wow, she's kind of weird for saying that, but I have no evidence really.
Okay.
That he's real.
Okay. Why do you believe it then, if you don't have any evidence?
Because everything points to a creator, so it would only make sense that someone smart enough was able to to do everything. And
Mm-hmm.
when I read my Bible, it tells me you go outside and you look at the birds, and you look at the sky, you look at the trees, and everything's just too perfect for it to
Everything's too
just kind of
perfect?
come into, yeah, like it's just,
Yeah.
it's just too perfect of a design for us to just be living here, for it to be coincidence, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just feel like someone smart enough was able to just put it all together to make it perfect for us, I guess.
Yeah. And so would you say then, so you're saying that like everything's perfect, and so would you say Cancer is perfect?
No, I'm saying like the design. Now, obviously,
Is Cancer designed?
when we bring sin into the equation,
Mm-hmm.
now we're talking about sin.
Okay.
You get disease.
Mm-hmm.
You get famine. You get people who are going hungry. You get
Mm-hmm.
people who decide to do evil. You get, all sorts of crazy stuff that comes with sin. But when you look outside and you look at how the sun is where it's supposed to be, and the grass is green, and you can grow plants, and there is places where you can find fresh water. It's like, obviously,
fresh water. Uh-huh.
like it's just stuff like that. But when you bring people into the mix, and as soon as God did bring people into the mix, things started messing up. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Well,
things definitely did start going bad.
I hear that. Now, let me ask you a question then. So are you saying then that we have cancer because of sin?
We have all disease because of that. I don't think that God created us because he wanted us to die. When you look at the original story of Adam and Eve, he was like, okay, be fruitful and multiply, and you can eat from any of these trees.
Okay.
But the thing is that a lot of people forget that there was 2 trees in that garden that were sacred. So you have your tree of good and evil, and you have your tree of everlasting life.
Yeah.
As soon as they ate from the tree of good and evil, God said, okay, now we have to remove them from this garden, because if they eat from the tree of life, they'll be stuck in this cursed state with sin. So I'm going to have to do something so that they can be redeemed from this cursed state of sin. If they eat from this tree of life, they'll be stuck like this forever.
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
So that was the point.
Okay. Let me ask you a question, Rachel, because we found dinosaur bones that are 76 million years old, long before humans walked the earth, with cancer in them. So, and we found mosquitoes that have malaria trapped in amber, fossils of those. And they have the malaria they're carrying the malaria virus or malaria disease. And those are like 15 million years old, long before humans walked the earth. So are you saying to me that dinosaurs and mosquitoes were sinful?
I'm saying to you that there's a lot of things that we are being pushed, that are being pushed about how old the world is, and how old the earth is. And I'm sorry, baby. And I think that it really just comes down to the fact that yes, you're gonna find bones, you're gonna find cancer, you're gonna find all those things in it before we got here. But
yeah,
I'm just going based off of what I know that my Bible says. I can't give you really any evidence because I have no evidence. I just have a faith. I just have a belief.
Okay.
Just like you have, your evidence and your faith and your belief. But my belief is that based off of like actual timelines and just even outside of the Bible, you see that dragons are mentioned in the Bible, and dragons are mentioned in other cultures and other things.
Yep.
But you don't get dinosaurs. You get every other being and every other creature other than a dinosaur in any type of ancient text. You get dragons.
Okay.
You get giants. You get mystical creatures.
Now, as far as kind of a couple ways I can go with this. I think the best way to go in this direction is if you're saying, are you saying then you're just going by what your Bible says, right? But we have other holy books that say things too, so that makes them all true because their holy books say things, right? Like, for example, the Bhagavad Gita in Hinduism says
Our
that
Bible is the Bible. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not even a religious book. Anybody who reads the Bible thinking that it's a religious book is reading it completely wrong because it's not a religious book.
well, what kind of book
That's
is it
why
then?
so many people are taking it out of context. You get evil people telling you lies and using scripture because they're using it as a holy book.
What kind
The
of book
Bible
is it then?
It's a book full of letters.
Letters?
It's a book full of poems, historical events.
Is all
When
of
you
it true?
open up your Bible, it will tell you what you're reading as soon as you start reading it.
Okay. Well,
So
is all of it true? Like 100% of it?
I have no idea.
You don't know?
I couldn't tell you if it's true or not. I could tell you that
Okay.
the people who wrote it were probably living. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But can
Well,
I
I'm trying
tell
to
you if
understand.
their testimony is real? Absolutely not. I cannot guarantee you that the person who wrote each and every book gave 100% true testimony. It's up to you to decide if you believe what they're saying or not.
Okay. Okay. So what I'm trying to understand then is if we don't know if it's true, if we don't know what they wrote down is true, well, because on one hand you cited the Bible as like the reason we have disease, but then on the other hand you said, well, I don't know if it's all true. So did we have disease because of sin or no?
We have disease because of sin, but I'm saying you want an 100%
Nope.
guarantee
Nope.
that everything
I
that
didn't say that.
everybody is saying in there is true.
I never said
really
that.
can't
I
give
just
you that.
I just asked you if it was 100% true. That's all I asked you.
No,
Okay.
I'm telling you 100%, right? That it is written by people, right? It's written by a whole bunch of different people, actually.
Mhm.
It just depends on what book you're actually reading in the Bible, who wrote it. Is there evidence that that person was a real person? Yes.
Okay.
But I cannot convince you that what they wrote in there was true. You have to read it and decide for yourself if you believe them or not.
Okay. Well, I've read
I'm
it
going to be
many
completely
times.
honest with you. So if you're reading it and you're like, I don't believe that this person is 100% accurate, that's your opinion. Just
Okay.
like any other book written by any other person who writes any type of historical text or
Mhm.
historical letter, you're basically just taking that person's word for it.
Okay.
I'm choosing to take that person's word for it. But you definitely 100% do not have to do that.
Oh, of course not. Yeah, but don't you want to believe in things that are true?
Absolutely. That's
How do
why
you then how do you
that's
verify
why
then?
I pray about it and
Yeah.
I read the text and I say, you know what? In my heart, in my spirit, is this person speaking truth?
Mhm.
Is this person that's writing this letter to this nation or giving historical history? Because it just
Okay.
really depends on what book you're reading.
Yeah.
They're either telling you, hey, back in the day this happened, or they're writing a poem or a song, or you're reading a letter written by somebody, written to another nation, to someone in another country or another city.
All right. Well, let's read a little bit of the Bible and let's just see if that's true. So let me ask you a question. Would you say God is God's morals changed at all over, eternity? Or has it always been the same?
It says that he's the same always.
Yep, he's the
At least
same
that's what
yesterday,
it
today,
says.
and tomorrow, right? Okay. So would you say then would you agree or disagree that God thinks it's okay to sell your daughter as a slave?
No. Like
No,
I
what?
said, the depends on where you're reading this from. Because
I'm reading it from the
again,
Bible. Yeah, we'll get to it in a
yeah,
second.
you're reading it from the Bible, but
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. What are you reading? Are you reading a letter? Or are you reading a historical
Oh, it's definitely not a
event?
letter. It's definitely not a letter. It's one of
Okay,
it's
so
one
they're
of God's
telling
laws.
you that this is something that happened.
No, it's not something that happened. It's one of God's laws. It's one of God's Mosaic laws. So it's not a what happened. It's not a story. It's actually
Well,
a
you
law
could
that
read
gave.
it for me so I could figure out.
Yeah,
where
we'll bring it
you're
up,
from.
but I want to ask you: is it ever okay to sell your daughter as a slave?
It is in this time and age, absolutely not.
In this time and age?
There's nothing in the Bible at this time that would convince someone to do that.
What? Okay, so when would it be appropriate, say 4,000 years ago, to sell your daughter as a slave?
Okay, I mean, I don't know. Depends on what those people were doing, what the laws were,
Okay.
how people's hearts were hardened back then. Slavery in America was completely different from the slavery that was happening in the Bible.
Yeah, I'm not talking about slavery in America. I'm talking about slavery from 4,000 years ago. So what you're saying then is that there are circumstances that would make it acceptable to sell your daughter into slavery.
No, what I'm saying is there are circumstances where God knew people's hearts were hardened. And so certain things were slowly but surely taken into account about how to deal with them.
Okay, so are you...
That's why Moses ended up giving us divorce. Even though when Jesus came through later, he says, no, I don't believe in divorce. Moses only told y'all could get divorced because your hearts were hardened.
Well,
that's not how it's supposed to be.
Okay, well,
So
wait. Let me kind of clarify something here, because we're kind of getting off topic, because I don't know how we got to divorce, but we're talking about slavery here. So
I'm using the same example.
Okay.
I'm using the same example.
Okay, so what
you're asking me, is there any time where slavery is okay? And I'm saying during that time, it was normal for people to have slaves.
Okay, so God thought it was okay 4,000 years ago.
There's no scripture saying you can have a slave. There are scriptures saying this is how you're supposed to treat your slave. There's a completely different. Those are two completely different things.
Boy, this
just because he's saying this is how you're supposed to treat your slave does not mean that there's a verse saying, and you may have slaves. No, it's just saying these are the rules that I'm putting limitations on, since y'all have this thing going on. This is how I want you to participate in it.
Let's go to Leviticus 25, 44 through 46.
About how he wanted people to have slaves.
Okay. Well, here, take a look at my screen here.
Particular time.
Okay. Take a look at my screen here. And this is Leviticus 25. Have you read Leviticus?
Yeah.
You've read it. Okay. Well, this definitely isn't a letter, and this definitely isn't a story. So this is from God, right? And 44 through 46, it says, as for the male and female slaves whom you may have, so this is God saying you may have slaves whom you may have. It is from the nations around you that you may acquire male and female slaves. You may also acquire them from among the aliens residing with you and from their families who are with you who have been born in your land. They may be your property. You may keep them as a possession for your children after you and for them to inherit as property. These you may treat as slaves, but for your fellow Israelites, no one shall rule over the other with harshness. So this is a law that says that God is saying you may have slaves. You may acquire them from among the other nations around you and from the aliens residing around you. So there is a law.
It's not saying that you may have slaves. I think you're confusing him with saying that that you may already have.
No. It says, okay, let's read the first line here again.
And Leviticus is at the
Rachel,
beginning.
Rachel, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to stop you right there, Rachel. It says, let's read this line right here that's highlighted. What does that say?
It says, as for male and female slaves, whom you may have.
You may have, yeah.
Yes,
and
meaning that he's about to break down the laws that he is saying that if you're going to have slaves, this is how you're going to have to do it.
Oh my
goodness. When you go to the beginning of Leviticus, the very chapter 1, you are reading historical texts. That's how you know what you are reading. This is basic. Leviticus is saying this is what was going on during this time.
Okay.
But if you
so what you're saying then,
book,
are you saying then that slavery is okay?
He's not saying that it's okay. He's saying that since y'all already have that, slavery is already something that's going on. This is how I want you to participate in it.
How do you define acquire? What's the definition of acquire?
To obtain.
To get.
That's what he's saying.
Right?
These are where you may get them from.
Yeah, get them.
I'm not denying that he's saying that
You
that
just
slavery was
said 30
something that
seconds
you
ago
could
it's the ones you already have. So this is the ones you may go get
Yes,
and
the ones
obtain.
you already have are the ones that you want to get. They
Okay.
have to come from these places.
Okay,
And
if
they
you
have-
if
and
you
these-
have to hold on, if you have to acquire slaves, if you have to acquire a slave, do you own that slave yet? If you have to acquire it?
Yeah, but no, but that's what
No,
I'm
you
saying. If
don't.
you're
You
gonna
don't
go
own it
get
yet.
one-
You
if
have to
you're
go
gonna
get
and
one.
Get one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you don't
So-
have a slave, you have to acquire it means you go get one if you don't have one. So this isn't about what you when you already have a slave. It's when you go get one where you can get one, right? And it says from the
which
nations
is what
around
I-
you.
Which is what I was telling you earlier is that
No, that's not what you were saying earlier.
Leviticus- Yes. I
No,
was
we can
saying
replay the
earlier
tape,
that
and that's not what you were saying
they're
earlier.
literally telling you. He's literally telling you.
No,
how
no,
you can
friend,
have
you weren't saying that
slavery,
earlier.
How slavery is supposed to actually work.
Okay,
That's what I'm
so
saying. There's never,
okay.
that scripture is not saying that it's okay. He's saying this is how I want you to do it if you're going to do it.
Okay,
If you're
so
gonna do it, they
if you're
have to
going
come
to
from
have
here.
slaves, so why didn't God just say don't have any slaves?
I have absolutely no idea why he said that during that time, why they couldn't have slaves.
Okay, so what
I have
time?
absolutely
Okay,
no idea.
and what time? At what time period did God ever say don't have slaves? When did God ever say that?
In the Bible?
Yeah,
I have
or
no
anytime.
idea
When
when
did
he
God?
said-
When
when
did
he
God
said
say
that
at
you
any
couldn't
time?
have a slave.
He never said that you can't have slaves. Never, ever, ever said that. So
Yeah,
this whole
I
time
don't
thing.
know when he ever
Yeah.
said
So
that.
he didn't say. Did God say in 2026 you can't have slaves?
No, that's what
Correct.
I'm saying.
And yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he's never ever said you can't have slaves ever at any
But
time.
he's never also said that it was a right for you to have one. He's just saying if you're going to have one,
Okay.
during this time, this is where you're supposed to get them from, and these are the rules about when you get them.
When did God say you could commit adultery?
I'm sorry?
When did God say it was okay to commit adultery?
You can't commit adultery.
Yeah, but did God ever say when you do commit adultery, these are the rules you must follow when committing adultery? Did he ever say that?
No.
Okay.
No.
When did God ever say that you could not keep the Sabbath?
I have no idea.
He never ever said you can't keep the Sabbath. He always said keep holy the Sabbath day, right? It's what, the fourth commandment? So the adultery is you shall not commit adultery. I think it's the fifth commandment, I believe. Yeah, you should not steal. No. Sixth commandment, something like that. It's one of the 10 commandments. So he specifically said you shall not commit adultery. He specifically said keep holy the Sabbath day. Is there any time that God said if you steal, this is what you should do? Did he ever say that?
Absolutely not. But
He
like I
said you shall not
earlier,
steal. So he absolutely said you
that's
shall
what
not
I
steal.
feel like we're having
He
a miscommunication
absolutely
of
said,
what I'm-
oh
what
no,
I'm
we're not
trying to
having a
get across to
miscommunication.
you.
I hear you loud and clear. But my point is,
Okay, so
he
can I just say
absolutely.
this? Just-
Hold on,
can I
I'm not
just say
done yet.
this?
Yeah, sure. You'll get to say your piece here in just a second. So what he said was, you shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall always keep holy the Sabbath day. But then he said, but if you want to have slaves, this is how you should do it. Now, what's worse, Rachel? Having slaves or committing adultery? What's worse?
They're all going to be the same punishment in the end.
They're all
to his
going to be the
eyes.
same punishment in the end. So that means then that there should have been consistent, which means that he should have said, you shall not have slaves. Because is having a slave wrong or right?
During that period of time when you had slaves, again, it was normal for you to have a slave.
Was it wrong or right during that period of time to commit adultery?
It was always wrong to have adultery. Yes.
It was always wrong
But
to have
what I'm
adultery.
saying is that you can't compare biblical slaves to how we view slavery in the United States because it was completely different.
Gotcha. So what you're saying then is that it was okay back then. God said it was okay to have slaves back then.
No, I'm not saying that he said it was okay for them to have slaves. I'm just saying that
As
the
for
way,
the male and female slaves whom you may have, that's the same thing as saying it's okay to have slaves. Whom you may have. May is a term meaning permission, right? So he permitted slavery, correct?
No.
He didn't
Absolutely
permit
not.
slavery. It says, whom you may have. This is wild.
I mean, if that's
This is so wild.
I'm telling you that's
crazy.
totally fine if that's how you want to take it, but I
This
don't
is
take it that way. I
crazy.
just take.
Well, yeah. I
literally
mean,
just
I
don't.
live in reality. This is what it's. I'm just reading what it says. I live in
Okay,
reality. Oh my
I mean, I
God.
guess so.
This is crazy.
I guess I'm just like I'm gonna be honest. I'll take the L on it because when people bring up slavery in the Bible, I just can't agree. They were treated better. It wasn't.
They
the
were
same
treated
type
better?
of slavery.
All right, let's see how
There's
much
rules about
better
how
they
you're
were
supposed
treated.
to literally
You
treat
gotta
your
be kidding
slave
me.
in the Bible.
All right, let's see how much.
They were not, but the way that America treated slaves here, not
Mhm.
even close
All right.
to how they were treated in the Bible.
Exodus 21, verse 20. When a slave owner strikes a male or female slave with a rod and the slave dies immediately, the owner shall be punished. But if the slave survives a day or two, there is no punishment, for the slave is the owner's property. So here it says, if a slave owner beats a slave with a rod and they survive for 2 days and then they die on the third day, there's no punishment. So is that wrong or right?
Again, but I'm saying I have no idea the links of them being beat. I don't know their everyday life. I don't know what their chores were. I don't know what they were even using these slaves for.
In what
at the end of
circumstance is
the
it
day.
okay to beat a slave?
I have no idea.
You have no
Because
idea?
because I personally don't believe in slavery.
It doesn't.
But that's what I'm
okay.
saying. I'm not God. I'm not him, and I'm definitely not someone who would want to own a slave ever. So I couldn't
Wow.
give you a reason of like, well, this is a good reason to beat him, and this is a good reason not to.
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't give you an answer to that. That's
Okay.
what I'm saying. Like, slavery is not the same thing as something that you and me can control in our every single day lives.
Wow.
Like I said before, when you're reading Leviticus, you're reading about a time period and what was going on during that time period and what God
What
was
makes
doing
the
and
time?
working with
Okay,
those
so
people.
I'm trying to understand from you, Rachel, what makes the time period? What's the difference in the time period?
There's no difference in the time period. It's just literally telling you what was going on.
Okay, so if
during
there's
that
no
time
difference in the
period.
time period, that means it was wrong back then too, right?
It was definitely wrong back then. but
Okay,
like I was
and God
giving you the
allowed it.
example
God permitted
earlier,
it.
God knew their hearts were hardened, so it's not like you can just come in and start taking things away. Just like how I was saying with the divorce. Moses only did that because he knew people were just randomly just having sex with all these people and doing all sorts
Okay.
of crazy things, leaving their wives behind, leaving their husbands behind. And he
Were
said, okay,
they-
if you're going to do that, you need to specifically hand over a certificate of divorce.
Okay.
So when Jesus got the same answer, he was like, I didn't tell Moses to do that.
Okay, were they committing adultery before God put the law down?
Every law that is written down is only to make you aware of it. So yes, absolutely.
They were committing
You
adultery,
only
but God
get-
took
you
that
only get
away,
law
right?
so that
So
you
why
know that it's
why
wrong
did
to
God
live.
take away adultery but not slavery? Because by your logic, he shouldn't have taken away adultery
He
because their
didn't
hearts
take
were
away
already hardened.
anything. Adultery is a choice. For you to have a
He
slave
took okay,
is a
but
choice.
he forbid adultery. You would agree with that, right? He forbid it. Right?
No, absolutely not.
he
If
didn't
you
forbid
decide
adultery?
If you have a wife and you decide to cheat on her, that's on you.
Okay.
Just because God says He doesn't want you to do it doesn't mean that someone's just gonna stop doing
This
it.
is-
It's up
this
to
is
you. It's up to
wild.
that person.
This is wild. This is absolutely wild. So
But
what
this
you're
is
telling
actually a really interesting side point because
which,
I actually like having this conversation because it actually is an eye opener of how people actually view the Bible. It's actually very interesting.
Yeah. We're viewing it in reality. Like it says, don't commit adultery. That's God forbidding you from committing adultery. Yes, you're right. People committed adultery anyway. It didn't stop them, but he specifically forbid it. That doesn't mean that people stopped doing it. It just means that he said, you can't do it. And just the same, he said no to stealing. He said no to working on the Sabbath. People still did it, but that didn't completely stop them. The problem is he didn't do that with slavery. He didn't say,
Oh,
don't
Rainbow
take
Ash
slaves.
Sorry, Rainbow Ash sent a super chat.
Oh, okay. Well, in that sense, okay. Well, Rachel, we got to go. But hey, I appreciate you coming up.
No, thanks. I
Yep.
appreciate it.
All right.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good day, Rachel. Wow. That was wild.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
No,
Rainbow
no.
Ash was in the. Okay.
No, that's all good. That I got to see stuff like that. I was just I didn't refresh the thing, but okay. Well, yeah. So Rainbow Ash super chat $5. Treat your Israelites slaves without harshness. What doesn't apply? Treat the foreign ones with harshness. Yeah, exactly. It specifically says you can't treat your fellow Israelites without harshness, and then it did say, so that means that you could treat the other ones with harshness. Absolutely, it said that, but yeah. Well, I hope
to be a woman to do that was fucking wild. Like, it's right there in the text.
Yeah, it was right there. That was just wow. Cognitive dissonance. Wouldn't you agree, both sidesing?
Yes, hardcore cognitive dissonance. I didn't even realize we were requested up.
Yeah, you did, and it's so great to hear your voice. So I'm glad you did. I
think she was.
Go ahead.
I read it and it says you may have slaves, and I think they read that and say slaves that you may have had previously in your possession.
Yeah, no, it's that you're permitted to have. Exactly. It's just wild to me, and it's just like there's not much you can do beyond that, but just like I read it to her, she read it to me.
I would like a Bible that reads what they think it says. Like I would like one of them to sit down and write down everything that the way that they've retranslated it, so I can read what they think Christianity is.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Isn't it amazing? I mean, and this is the kind of things, like, if you're considering this religion, if you're watching people out there and considering this religion, that's the kind of shit that you have to deal with. Oh my goodness, Catholic Traditionalist is back. Oh, this is going to be fun. Let's bring up Catholic Traditionalist. Hey, asshole, how you doing?
Notice how terrible these atheists are.
Oh, yeah, we're so terrible. Fuck you. How about that? Go eat a dick.
See what I mean?
Yeah, see what you mean?
Spirit.
Cry. Yeah, no fruits of the spirit. Yeah.
I don't remember who this guy is, but apparently I affected him big time.
Go fuck yourself. All right. So there we go. Eat a big ass dick, Catholic Traditionalist. Go fuck yourself.
Collect all the foreskins.
You can just collect all the foreskins, eat my ass, do it all. But just go fuck yourself. That's the only reason I'm going to bring that person up, is to cuss him out. Fuck you.
Is he that? He wasn't up on my panel, but he requested.
I don't give a fuck what he says. Oh, look at how they act. I don't give a fuck. You're a piece of shit. Fuck you.
Well, I'll have to block him because obviously he's really horrible.
Or just bring him up and cuss him out and then drop him down again.
Okay, I'll
do that. You can do that.
Yeah, I've been doing it. Yeah.
I think that's what everybody. You know what? Send out the alert to any non-believer live. Just bring up Catholic Traditionalists, cuss him out for 30 seconds, and drop him. That's all you got to do. If he wants to think that we're all bad people, fuck him. He already thinks that. What's that? What else is it going to do?
I think he was in Girls Gone Godless's live. And that's 3 women going against 1 man. Don't fuck with 3 beautiful women.
The backstory is he's a piece of shit. That's the backstory. He doesn't follow his Bible. He has no idea. He hasn't read Titus 3:2. He hasn't read Colossians 3:12. He's a piece of shit. So I don't have to be respectful to that motherfucker. Fuck him. So yeah, just go eat a dick, Catholic Traditionalist. That's all you got to do. So that's it. Yeah, you can. Yeah, do voice stress analysis on me. See if I'm lying. So straight up. But anyway, sorry. We were having a pleasant conversation.
Well, that was more beautiful, actually, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. No, I'll take conversations with Rachel any day. It was respectful. It was, I wholeheartedly disagreed. It was wild to me, but I'll take that conversation any day because it was respectful. It was engaging. It was interesting, but Catholic traditionalist is a lying piece of shit, fuckface.
He's kind of
And-
like Dark Dawkins.
Yep, I guess.
I think a live where you bring them up one at a time and just do that anyway would probably be pretty popular. It would fulfill their persecution
Oh yeah,
complex.
it would. Yeah, it would. So I don't care. I mean, because for one thing, he can't have lives. I've never seen him do a live, and maybe he can. But if he did have a live, there'd be 10 people in there. So don't care whatsoever. So piece of shit, fuckface. Go fuck yourself. Eat a dick. Eat your own ass. Blow yourself. Whatever else I can say. Just go do it and go away. Just go the fuck away. So, yeah. So get shot into the sun. I mean, yeah. Go take a trip to the sun. Just go away. Just go the fuck away. All right. We've got another one in the queue. The Thinker. Yeehaw. The Thinker. It's like you're having trouble connecting the Thinker. So come back. Maybe leave the app, come back in, or fix your Wi-Fi, and we'll bring you back up. So, yeah. Christians would request up just to get humiliated. Don't kink shame, I guess. I guess, yeah. Oh, thanks for the star, Lone Dro. Thank you. All right, let's give Thinker another shot here. Oh, there it goes. It worked the second time. How's it going, Thinker? The Thinker. Hi. How old are you?
I'm 18.
All right, fantastic. And which God do you believe in?
The Christian.
Okay. And what's your best evidence that this God is real?
Before I give my evidence, I have a question. Are we arguing against theism or just my God?
I don't know. I don't think it matters. I mean, do you believe in God, right? You think this God's real?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I just want to hear your evidence on why you think this God is real.
Oh, I have my evidence on theism that God exists.
Okay.
Okay. On the basis of morality and how the universe works, I believe God exists.
Okay. So morality and the universe?
Yes.
All right. Well, I guess we can take a look at morality.
Okay.
Okay. So can you expand more on morality being evidence that God exists?
I feel like it's illogical to say morality exists without God.
In what way? Like, what do you mean? It's illogical.
So for us to have rational conversations, we must agree that objective like material laws of logic that are always true, like sorry, bugged out.
No, you're cool. Yeah, I heard you. You need some help? I think you're talking about the laws of logic, right?
Yes.
Okay. Law of non-contradiction, law of identity, law of excluded middle, right? Yeah, I totally agree. I fully agree. I'm an objective moral realist. Yep.
Okay.
So I believe in objective morality. Yes.
So are these laws physical? Like, would you say they're physical laws?
No, they're not.
Non-contradictory laws are non-physical. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And and I would also say they're part of our reality too, right? Because we use the law of identity, all that stuff to make sense of our reality, right? Yeah.
Like I would say we're considering a dominant atheistic worldview of materialism. I think that.
Why would you say that's dominant?
Of atheism?
Yeah. Are you saying, yeah, because not all atheists are materialists. We've got idealists, you've got relativists, you've got realists, you've got, Platonists, you've got all kinds of different atheists. So.
Oh, I personally believe that it's that. Is that incorrect? Based off of
that it's just materialists and that's it?
No, not just that it's dominant.
I wouldn't say it's dominant. I mean, it just runs the spectrum. Okay. Maybe the ones you talk to, maybe.
Yeah, the ones I've
But-
talked to.
Okay.
Which one would you
Like for
say?
example, I'm a fallibilist. So, yeah.
Okay. So
And that's and see, atheism isn't. I mean, that's separate and apart from atheism, right? I could be a Catholic fallibilist. I could be a Catholic idealist, a Catholic traditionalist. I could be a Muslim realist. You know, it doesn't really matter. It's just atheism is just a statement. It's a belief statement. That's it, or a lack of belief statement. That's all it is.
so you're not a materialist.
Nope, I'm a fallibilist. Yep.
Oh, this is gonna be hard for me.
Oh yeah. See, that's the thing is you have to debunk every worldview out there. That's the burden of proof that you have. So
Yes,
I
I
think
know,
you're just
I know.
realizing that. Yeah. So
Oh, I know the burden of proof.
Okay.
I'm just new to arguing against everything. I'm new to this in general, so
I got you. Okay.
I came prepared for immaterialist. That's what I came prepared.
Okay.
For.
All right.
I wanted to argue with, against that. But,
Okay.
I think
Well,
we could.
I mean, yeah,
try.
we could still rock with it. So, so as far as moral, okay, so you're saying that there is no. I think what you're trying to say is that your God grounds morality.
Yes.
Okay. And what evidence do you have of that?
Evidence. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot. Let me see. What's the
Just your best one. Yeah. Just put your best one out there.
best one? Best one.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. Do objective moral views and duties exist? Is really a question. but-
Yes.
Okay. Some actions are truly objectively evil. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You have no counter argument against that, right?
Me? I have no
So-
counter. I don't have a
Okay,
counter
okay.
argument. Yeah, I agree with you. They're objectively. Well, I'll even say I'll go with your word, objectively evil. Yeah, I'll just say that. That's fine. I think
Right.
I'd say objectively wrong, but yeah, objectively evil. Sure.
Would you think these objective moral values are like a physical thing?
No, I wouldn't say that. They're not physical things, but I don't think that matters.
How so?
Because I don't think anything has to be physical in order for it to be like real or objective. I'm not sure why it's I don't know why it's relevant if they're physical.
I was thinking that because with a purely materialistic atheist universe, where everything is a product of randomness, non-rational processing, like evolution, I
Yeah.
would say like, how could you account for the existence of binding objective moral odds? Like,
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm not a materialist, so you're
I know that.
you're barking up the wrong tree, bruh. And on top of
like
that, that's kind of a straw man against that because it's not, materialists don't think, nobody thinks, this existence is random. Nobody thinks that. So that's kind of a straw man. I mean, maybe that's your conclusion. I mean, maybe that's an argument you can make, but that's not what people think. It's not,
not a
even science
conclusion.
doesn't think.
I was building up to a point.
Oh, okay.
But,
All right. But
like I said, I'm new to this. I will be
I got
honest.
you.
So
I got you.
it's like it's hard to build a claim against
Yeah.
something I don't even know much about.
Okay. Well, so kind of going back to you, so then that means because my name is Trust But Verify, right? So I'm trusting what
Yes.
you're saying here. Now we can verify that God is the moral grounding, right? We can verify that, right?
Verifying how so? Like,
Well, I mean, as far as I can tell, is we can take moral situations that God's grounding because that means that anything God does is good, right?
everything?
Everything, yeah, because He's the moral foundation for everything. So that means everything that God does is morally good, right?
Yes.
Oh boy. Okay. So, all right. So we can test that. Let's see, which one should I go with, chat? Well, I'm gonna go with
You
the.
could do the slavery one. I know that's
Eh.
popular.
Yeah, no, that's pretty popular, but I'm gonna forego that. I'm gonna go with the one that's undefeated. Let's see how you do. So I know tall order, but it's undefeated so far. All right. In what situation, the thinker, is it morally good to grape someone who is innocent of a crime?
Not good at all.
Not good at all? Okay. So if we found a situation now, would you say the Bible is, how true do you think the Bible is? Like on a percentage scale?
True. I think it's like a recordance of history. There are parts that is like knowledge given from God, but I see like it's like a recorder, you would say.
Okay. And it's all from God?
From God himself?
Yeah.
No, the Bible was written. Like it's like,
was written.
What would you say? Like a history book.
Okay.
Like something like that.
So if there's something that says it is from God that's in the Bible, is it actually from God or is it somebody's interpretation? And how would you be able to tell? So it's kind of a two-part question.
It depends on the translation, I would say.
Depends on the translation?
Yes, because translation can mix up words and like it, especially if you would have like Old Testament words, like I think it was a lady who arguing against whom that slavery, obviously God was saying yes to slavery being allowed. I don't know why she argued against that. So I say like the
cognitive dissonance. Yeah. Cognitive dissonance, man. Yeah. It's because it's just hard to accept that the God you worship is cool with slavery. It's kind of hard to accept that. That's quite a bullet to bite. So, all right. So would you say that if your God permitted the grape of an innocent person for somebody else's crime or sin, would you call that morally good?
No.
Okay, so let's go to the scripture. We're going to go to 2 Samuel chapter 12, verses 8 through 12. Now, before we get into this, let's kind of define some terms. What do you consider to be consent?
Consent?
What is consent?
I was taught this, obviously. Well, yeah, consent is basically, obviously, like, no. Like, you have to be aware. You have to say yes to the situation, basically.
Okay, you have to say yes. You have to say yes. Okay, we'll just roll with that. Now, there's more to it. Like, in today's parlance, we consider consent. There's a 5-letter acronym, right? FRIES. It's got to be freely given. It's got to be reversible or revocable. It's got to be informed, and I think that's what you said. It's got to be enthusiastic, and it has to be specific, right? And so those are and so an easy understanding of FRIES is if you're buying a car, right? Let's just say you're buying a car, and if they tell you have to come to an agreement on a price, right? And that's consent. Because a consent is like a contract. It's an agreement, right? So for you to consent to give your money in exchange for this car, if they told you that the engine was blown, is that consent?
Sorry, I got cut out.
If you have consent, like consent is like a contract, right? It's an agreement, right? Yes. So if you give consent to hand your money over in exchange for a car and they tell you the engine is blown, and they don't tell you the engine is blown, have you given your consent?
To what?
To buying the car. Yeah, buying a broke car. I mean, unless you wanted a broken car, but
in the contract, does it say that it's broken?
No, it doesn't say that. It doesn't tell, they didn't tell you that the engine's blown. So
no, it's not consent.
Yeah, it's not consent. Unless you wanted an engine with a car with a blown engine, right?
I mean,
Maybe
they wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, right. You would have said that out front, right? But the expectation is for most people, 99% of the time, you want an engine in a car that's not blown, right? You want to be able to drive the car, right? So yeah. So if you've handed over your money, let's say 10 grand, and then you find out, oh shit, the engine's blown, you have not given consent, right? So that would be an example of informed, right? They have to inform you of things so you know ahead of time to make the decision, right? So that's an example. That's a very, very easy example of consent. Or say if let's say your garage door was up, right, at your house, and your bike was sitting there, and I just walked by and took your bike. You haven't given consent, right?
No.
Yeah, and I couldn't sit there and say, well, you didn't say I didn't take your bike, right? That doesn't matter, right?
Sorry?
If I said, now let's just say I stole your bike and you already said, I took your bike. I saw it in your garage. The garage door was up. I saw it sitting there. I just went in and I took your bike and rode off with it. You already said, I did not have your consent to take your bike. Now, if I said, well, you didn't say I couldn't take your bike, does that mean you've given consent?
No.
Perfect. So it's not just not saying anything. It also means you have to specifically say, yes, I give you consent, Trust, to take my bike, right?
Wait, I think I know where this is going. Are you talking about the Virgin Mary?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
All right.
Not talking about that. Although we could talk about that, but we're not talking about that. No.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry about the question.
No, you're good. You're good. You don't know where I'm going. Yeah, but you're good. No, it's a good guess though. But you, so far we're in agreement, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm effectively, yes, I'm trying to trap you and I'm removing all of your escape paths. So yes, that's what I'm doing. All right. So let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 12, verses 8 through 12. Here, I'll bring it up on my screen.
Okay.
All right. So this is the chapter. So we'll start at the very top here. So have you read this?
Not all of it. I think
Not
I've
all of
read
it?
this one.
You've read this one? Okay.
Yeah,
Very
I think
good.
so.
All right. So we're very clear on what consent is. And I think this is important. I assume you're a male and you're 18 years old. So
yes,
I think learning the lesson on consent is actually very valuable. I'm an older man, you know, I'm 54 years old. And if someone had taught me the lessons of consent, this would have been so much better in my life. I'm just saying. Okay. I grew up in the late 80s and 90s, and it was way different back then. Not to say it was acceptable. I'm just saying things were different back then, and women were seen more as objects than they are today. So just saying, we had a very, very different idea of what consent was back then. And it wasn't, and if I knew it was like fries, and if somebody walked me through this, just would have been a lot better. So, okay. That said, 2 Samuel. So it starts here. God is basically saying, this is the story of David and Bathsheba, as you may know. And so David, you know, had an affair with Bathsheba, got her pregnant. And now this is God basically laying down his judgment, right? So, so this is what he basically, and on top of that, he did arrange for Bathsheba's husband Uriah to be killed in battle. So that's what all this is saying right here. When he says, you have struck down Uriah the Hittite with the sword and have taken his wife to be your wife and have killed him with the sword of the Ammonites. So now let's just skip to 11. It says, thus says the Lord, I will raise up trouble against you from within your own house, and I will take your wives before your eyes and give them to your neighbor, and he shall lie with your wives in broad daylight. So I see what you're trying to do. Yeah. So reflecting back to our little talk about consent, can you point out to me in verse 11 where it says the wives gave consent? Here, let me scroll down a little bit.
Are we not? Oh, well, to be fair, there is no context. But are we thinking about the context? No, because
I just gave you the context.
Well, we know that traditionally, me and other Christians believe that God knows everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do we not say that he takes away and she will go and wed another one? No. Okay.
So if we go now, traditionally what happened in these times is that you understand that when we say wives, because elsewhere in here, because it says, I gave you your master's house and your master's wives into your bosom, because that's what it says up in verse 8, and gave you the house of Israel and Judah. Now, who's he referring to when it says master's house and your master's wives? Who's God referring to? Up in verse 8 at the top. Oh, sorry. I gotta scroll up so you can see it. Okay. So scroll up to verse 8. It says, I gave you your master's house and your master's wives into your bosom and gave you the house of Israel and Judah. Who's God talking about as the master in the sentence? Saul, precisely. So God gave Saul's wives to David, right? So David inherited Saul's wives. And now you're aware back then that if you were one of the wives, you were considered a concubine, and concubines were sold into slavery. So they were sold by the family. And a piece of evidence of that is Exodus 21, verse 7. So if we go to Exodus 21, verse 7, It specifically says, when a man sells his daughter as a slave, she shall not go out as the male slaves do. Well, that's now what if we talk to any rabbis about that, if we're talking about the ancient Hebrew, that is pretty much talking about because if you read the verses before that in Exodus 21, it talks about how slaves can get out of slavery. But this is saying when it says she shall not go out as the male slaves do, it means that she is a slave for life. Now, this doesn't always refer to concubines. It could be like a housemaid or house servant, but concubines were for life. And that's why, when it says if you go back to Samuel verse 8, it says, I gave you your master's house and your master's wives. So that means kings inherited the previous king's wives. So because they were wives for life, they were concubines for life. So now if a daughter is sold into slavery, has she given consent?
No.
Okay. So we don't have consent from the jump, right? So I just gave you the context. I just gave you all the context that you need here. So you've already acknowledged that there is nothing here that says the wives gave consent, but you did say God knows all. So are you saying then that when a daughter is sold into slavery, that God knows she wants to be sold as a slave?
Well, that would be me saying I would understand how God's thinking, like a human understanding of God. That's I don't know if that's possible.
Well, I'm asking you that God would know that the daughter wanted to be sold as a slave. Is that what I'm hearing? I think that's what you were trying to imply.
I guess you could take it that way.
You could take that way? Okay.
I guess.
Okay. So what you're saying is only the women who were sold as slaves wanted to be sold as slaves.
All women, you saying?
Yeah. Any woman who was sold as a slave, because they were sold as a slave because God wanted them to, because God knew that they wanted to be slaves.
No.
Okay. All right. Oh, we have a super chat. I got to pause for a super chat. Yeah, $20 from Ammon Ra. Thank you for the super chat. One of my favorite verses to show God is a terrible monster. Read the Old Testament carefully, and I do not see how anyone can believe this is a good God. Must read slow. Acceptance of harsh reality takes time. Well, that's what we're trying to do, Ammon Ra. So let's see if we can get there. All right. So
somebody could argue this while I'm going.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to understand here is, because you had previously said that grape of an innocent person to punish someone else has never a good thing. So it says here, I will take your wives before your eyes and give them to your neighbor, and he shall lie with them in broad daylight. You've already established that there is no consent here. And so that means the wives were graped, right?
Sorry, you said what?
That means the wives were graped because they did not give consent.
You read from the highlighted right now?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me read it again. Oh, this is saying that he will take his wives and send them off. You're saying that they'll become slaves, and that is against their will.
No. They already were. They were because they were concubines. So he's telling David, I'm going to take your concubines from you, and I'm going to give them to your neighbor. Now, who we later find out is his son, Absalom. Okay. So we can, if you need to get more context, we can go into chapter 16 and read that and see it all.
Yeah, we can go.
Okay.
Context.
Okay. You want that? All right. So let's go. So that's who the neighbor is that God is talking about. And 25. Okay. So we'll get there in a second. But we've already established that the wives have not given consent here at all. We don't see anything where it says the wives are saying, yes, I consent to this. We don't see that at all, do we? Yes, I want to have sex with the neighbor.
I would say before we go to the other scripture. Oh, what? Are we already here?
We're not here yet, but I just want to make sure we're on the same page. We're establishing.
I would
right?
say that this text itself is a human understanding of God, not God's understanding itself. Because again, unless it's words from God itself, where are these words coming from?
These are God's words. This is the prophet Nathan giving. Prophet? Yeah, the prophet Nathan is talking to to David here. So if we go back to verse 1 in Samuel chapter 12.
I'm pretty sure modern theologists, that I know of, I'm not a theologist myself, would say that that is a human interpretation of God's words, not God's words himself.
Can you read verse 1 here?
Yeah, and Lord sent Nathan to David.
Yeah. And so this is who God is talking through to David, through Nathan. So you would agree that God did this a lot. He sent prophets to give his word, right?
Yes.
Okay. So are you saying then that Nathan misinterpreted God's words?
I would say, I'm saying, modern theologists say that it's a human interpretation of God's words, not exactly God's words. Like,
not exactly
the
God's
game
words.
Telephone.
Yeah.
Oh, the highlighted is
this is what Nathan told David from God, right? We've read this a few times, but we'll test that again here in a second. So okay. So so you're saying then that Nathan may have gotten a little bit of that wrong, because it's like the game of telephone. He didn't get the message. He didn't express the message exactly clear enough. Like, didn't use God's exact words.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's go to 16. So this is chapter 16, verses 20 through 23. And Absalom is David's son. And this is after Absalom, because if you skip forward a bit, you'll read some other chapters. Oh, we got another super chat. Give me 1 second. Okay, $5 super chat from Dr. Joe, executive soap coach. Oh, I like that. Why do we never discuss Absalom's agreement and his disregard for the women also? Why? Because they are property. Yeah. And so what we're looking at here is, this is Absalom, David's son, and he's talking. He goes to Ahithophel, and he says, "Give us your counsel. What shall we do?" And so, leading up to this, if you read through the ensuing chapters up from 12 up to 16, that is Absalom orchestrating a coup against his dad, chasing his dad out of the palace, dad being a punk, leaving the wives there, and running away, right? And so now Absalom is in the palace now. He's orchestrated his coup. So he says, Ahithophel says to Absalom, "Go into your father's concubines, the one he has left, and to look after the house, and all Israel will hear that you have made yourself odious to your father, and the hands of all who are with you will be strengthened." So they pitched a tent for Absalom upon the roof, and Absalom went into his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel. Now, in those days, the counsel that if Ahithophel gave was as if one consulted the oracle of God. So all the counsel of Ahithophel was esteemed by both David and by Absalom. So this specifically says here, the counsel that Ahithophel gave was as if one consulted the oracle of God. And so what exactly does that mean?
Actually, I don't know. You could tell me.
Okay, so essentially what that means is that it's as if Ahithophel is getting his counsel from God himself. And so what we're essentially saying is that we've got a counsel who was counseling both David and now Absalom, saying the exact same thing that Nathan just said to David that would happen. So now I'm trying to understand from your point of view how Nathan got this wrong.
So can we I'm sorry if you're repeating yourself, but can we dumb it down to explain how the chain will work?
Yeah.
Let's say I told you something like that. Okay.
Yeah. Like you tell me, and you're let's just say, you're telling me, hey, I need you to tell David. Let's just say you're God and I'm Nathan, right? Let's just say, okay, just for argument's sake, and so that's the chain. You're God, I'm Nathan, and there's David, right? David's right over here. And you're telling, and you're relaying a message to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That would be the chain.
So God, Nathan, David. That's the chain?
God, that's one chain, but then we've got a second chain, and that's God, Ahithophel, Absalom. Because it says here, the counsel that Ahithophel gave was as if one consulted the oracle of God. So it's saying that this is as if Ahithophel was talking to God himself.
Again, I still think there still could be misconceptions in that.
Okay. So two different people got it wrong?
Yes, I could say that.
You could say that? Okay.
Yeah.
Heck of a coincidence that two people got it exactly wrong. And we have no, and if you read through the ensuing chapters, they didn't even talk to each other. Like Nathan and Ahithophel didn't talk to each other.
The conversation is getting circular and it's like semantics. I don't want to lie. So, is there like a stronger, or this is the strongest? You said it's unbeatable, right?
Yeah, it's undefeated. What I'm trying to understand from you is that, because we've already established that God did not, like, these wives did not give consent, therefore they were raped. And so what I'm trying to understand from you is, if God, because you earlier had said there's no situation in which graping someone innocent for somebody else's crimes was a good thing. So this was good, right? Because God is the moral standard. So this was good? No, it's not good. So that just blows up your entire argument. If this wasn't good and God, because God commanded this. You did see that, right?
I don't think this was a commandment. Unless he did it with his own hands, I don't think that was a command.
If God says, I will raise up trouble against you, what's going to happen?
He's saying he would take away his property, everything he owns.
Yeah. So when he says, I will take your wives before your eyes and give them to your neighbor, what's going to happen?
He would give it to his son.
Yep. So that means it's going to happen, right? So this is what God commanded this, because it says, I will. So who else is doing it?
The man, not God himself.
The men?
It's a message.
Okay, it's a message, but it says, I will. So God has nothing to do with this?
No. I would say that it's a punishment of action.
It's a punishment of action?
Yes.
Okay. So it's a punishment of action, and what was the punishment?
To take all of his property.
And?
The wives.
And? Let's read it again. I will take your wives before your eyes and give them to your neighbor, and?
He shall lie with your wives twice.
That's the punishment. He shall lie with your wives in broad daylight. So,
is that not to know? As I said before, he knows all, right? So wouldn't that mean he would just know that he would do that twice?
Yeah. And so what I'm asking you is, where is the consent of the wives?
Is it, okay, I have a question. Is there anything to say that they did not have the consent? I know.
They ask us every time. Every fucking time. Yep.
Is that true?
Oh, it's true. Yeah. Every time I catch them in a corner like this, that's the same question everybody asks. Well, do we have anything that says they didn't consent? No.
It's just a question.
Yeah. But see, this is kind of the same thing. With consent, you specifically, it says you have to have specific I consent. That's what consent is.
But this is the perspective. It's a perspective.
Well, see, this is the problem. If you have a perspective of consent, my friend, I'm trying to keep you from doing like 5 to 10 in state pen. All right. Because
I wouldn't.
You can't have, well, then you understand then it's not just a perspective of consent, right? It's got to be clear, right? See, this is the parallel. If you go to the judge, my friend, and you say, well, it's just a perspective of consent, Your Honor, I thought she gave consent, they're going to send your ass away for 5 years. All right. They're just going to
see the analogy, but that's not where I'm going.
And you're going to have to register for life. So I'm just trying to help.
That's not where
I'm just trying to help you out. Yeah. But there is no consent here. Because if you
what I'm trying to say is the perspective being written down is of the message, not of what happened. Yes, it is what would happen, but it would happen to the message and the messenger, not in between.
Okay, so then if there's a perspective here and it's not clear, that's my point. If it's not clear that there's consent, there's no consent. That's my point. Consent has to be clear. It's got to be. I went through the 5 points. Yeah, and so is it clear here?
I'm saying in the writing itself, it's the perspective of the message and the messenger, not in between. So how would you know of anything else besides what happened?
Okay.
not
Is it clear?
clear of what?
Is consent clear?
No, I wouldn't say
Then
consent
there's
is
no
clear in
consent.
this.
Yeah, even if you're saying it's a perspective, it's not clear. If it's not clear, there's no consent. Straight up. And that's how, but see, again, this would be like you saying to the jury, well, see, from my perspective, it was clear to me. Well, the problem is if you guys aren't meeting on the same level, then they're not going to side with you.
I didn't mean as in perspective of the one who. All right. Whew. Okay. I meant in perspective of what's been written.
Mm-hmm.
That you
I know
understand
what
that,
you mean.
that's what I'm saying.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. But that's my point, is that even in the perspective of what's been written, because they're writing this from another perspective, right? So their
Yes.
perspective would be like the jury's perspective in your case. All right. And I'm just saying, if you get caught, if you catch a case like this, you don't want it to be up to perspective. You want it to be clear. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
I understand.
And this isn't clear. So
But
if it's not
written in the
clear,
time of
there's no consent.
If it's written in the time of where that wasn't an issue, why would that be written down? Just
Okay.
a question.
Oh yeah. I hear what your question is. So if that was, and that's the thing, is if it wasn't an issue because women were treated as property, there was no need to give consent back then. All right. But that
No,
doesn't
I was
mean,
thinking-
but that doesn't mean it's not grape. It's
No, I
still
was
grape.
thinking as if we don't know what happened in that sense. I'm saying since it wasn't a thought of to happen, how do we know that just because it wasn't written down that did not happen?
Then
That
your
would
God
also-
doesn't exist, because that just throws the entire Bible up into question, because then you don't know any of it happened, because it's just from
How so?
perspective, right? Well, then how do you differentiate between what's perspective and what's actually real?
Well, like I said, the Bible is just perspective. It's just recorded history. That's what I say.
Then we shouldn't believe any of it.
Well,
Or maybe just the parts that you can verify. But if you're just saying it's just perspective, because you're right, we can't verify that this happened. We don't have an independent source to verify this actually happened. So this is all we're going by. But then you're going to throw out about 95% of the Bible, because you can't verify that Jesus Christ rose from the dead. That's just perspective, right? So there's no reason to believe that. There's no reason to believe that happened. But see, the thing is that this is like, I don't know if this argument from ignorance or special pleading. It's kind of
Maybe
waffling between the two. Yeah, maybe ignorance. It's argument from ignorance. Like, we don't know really what happened, so we can't really say. Well, you could say that about the resurrection. You don't really know what happened, so you can't really say. So therefore, the resurrection didn't happen.
isn't there a witness proof of him being resurrected?
There's a claim of witness proof, but we can't verify that claim.
Is that true? I'll have to see
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. We can't verify that the witnesses, because all we have is hearsay. It just says in the Bible that there were witnesses, but we don't have independent verification from the witnesses themselves. Like the women who were there, that's one account. The women who claimed to have witnessed something, we don't have independent verification from them, right? They didn't write something themselves. So it's just hearsay. All right. Well, we got to pause because we got to do a kick poll. But
Okay.
so, but we'll be able to resume for about another minute after I get this going. All right, everybody. I'm actually surprised we got through this whole thing. I was expecting like an early kick, but because usually what happens when I do this one, Thinker, is that it's happened like the last 5 or 6 times. Not that I was trying to get you kicked early, but no, I wasn't trying. It's maybe because you were actually super respectful. But
No, when I debate, I try to learn. I don't just come in with the ideology that I'm correct 100% of the time.
That might be why. Yeah, that might be why. Okay. All right, chat. It's up for vote. So go ahead and everybody vote. Both platforms. 129 of you on TikTok, and what are you, like 65 on YouTube, something like that. Go ahead and vote, everybody. So yeah, and that's reasonable. I mean, I hear that, and But see, I think that's the thing is that if you're going to go with the argument that, well, that's perspective, we don't really know what happened. Yeah, you could say that about just about everything in the Bible, right? Jonah and the whale, like absolutely no witnesses of that, right? That just throws that whole thing out. Jacob wrestling with God, being named Israel, throw all that out. Adam and Eve, throw all that out. I mean, you're going to throw out like large chunks. Yeah, you're going to throw out large chunks of the Bible.
Say that those stories are allegories for certain things, not actual stories?
I think that's cope. I mean, there were some people that say that, but then, you know, there's a lot of people who say that that's all literal. So, well, hey, they decided to move on, but The Thinker, I appreciate you coming up and having a talk.
Okay.
All right. Have a good day. All right. Well, thanks for hanging in there, guys. You were just like sitting there just chilling.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was fully expecting to see jellyfish. Fully expecting it. But maybe that $20 one was, but it didn't specifically say it was a kick. It was just a really nice one. So maybe that was the early kick, but anyway.
I
but yeah.
didn't even pay attention to that.
Yeah. But
shit.
Yeah, it was. Well, I saw it and I read it, but it didn't specifically say, you know, all right, and get rid of him. It didn't say that. It just had a comment.
Like Rainbow Ashes because he came down in the caps thing and said something, and that's why I'm like, oh shit, should I interrupt him? And that's when I said something.
Yeah. No worries. Yeah, so that's about right. 73%. That's about right. But yeah, that was actually, so maybe chat is getting more tolerant of the David and Bathsheba. I was fully expecting the jellyfish. Not that I was trying to get him kicked. I was just saying, you know.
He was respectful though.
Yeah, it was respectful. Still undefeated. David and Bathsheba is still undefeated. So, I mean, if you're going to go to, well, maybe it's just perspective and we don't know what happened, then you can't say that your God is morally good. Yeah, I yell at you from TikTok. Thank you, Rainbow Ash. I appreciate that. Yeah, I know. Sometimes
one of them surprises you.
You hope one of them surprises me one day?
I always do, so that I can find a new angle and like something else to like understand. But whenever you set it up and you walk them through the whole consent line, and then they just run against every single point every time.
Every time. It never fails.
It's unsatisfying.
It's just, yeah. And yeah, I did. I removed all this. I gave them one escape route, and that was we don't really know. And what it did is it just blew up the entire argument. Because now you can't say that your God is good. Your God exists. Your God is moral. I mean, you just blew it all out the window by giving that argument, by giving that reason. So
he just tossed his fries.
Yeah, exactly. That was a good, productive young conversation a young kid like him needed to have. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I was thinking, is that I wish somebody, I mean, my father died when I was 17, you know. I wish somebody had that kind of conversation with me when I was his age. You know, because, yeah.
I never had that kind of conversation with anybody in my family. Yeah. I had to learn about woman stuff from teachers at school.
Yeah.
Tell me that's really fucked up.
Yeah, it is. It is. And that's the thing is I think, you know, like Gen Xers, older millennials, I think that's how it went, right? I think the younger millennials, the Zennials, I think that's what they call them. I think it's a lot more open nowadays about like bodily autonomy and, you know, stuff like that. But I mean, it was just like nowadays, like I'm married now, but I wouldn't dream of like touching a woman without her permission. Like even just like putting my hand on her shoulder or something like that, right? I wouldn't even dream of doing it. Like hugging somebody without their permission. But shit, when I was 18, I was doing that to girls all the time. Just coming up to them and giving them hugs and, you know, thinking that was like okay, and just completely violating like bodily, you know, like personal space. But that's just what we did back then. It was totally wrong.
Yeah.
Where I live, we're lucky if we can get a health class.
See?
Same.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing is like they're getting rid of stuff like that. And so it's just that it's, and so it's just,
Especially like sexual education. I had that at 6th grade.
yeah, trust but grope. Exactly. Exactly. But trust, yeah, exactly. But that, I mean, that's what you could do back then. And then, you know, and then women were just, they just like endured it. It's like, I don't, yeah. It's like, geez. It's like, if I had known this shit back then, I wouldn't have done any, like, I had no idea that was a thing, you know? And then calling them like terms of endearment, like baby and honey and all that. Like, you wouldn't do that to anybody nowadays, right? Well, like, you shouldn't.
Well, when all you have is the media that you consume and the locker room buddies that you talk to, what are you going to end up with?
Exactly. And so locker room talk, you know, boys will be boys. That was like something that was said so much back then. And, you know, I made sure to have like I had a talk with my son about that, about like personal boundaries, personal space. Like, don't touch anybody without permission, even if it's just, you know, incel behaviors. Exactly. I had all that talk with my son about that. Like, we had long talks about that. And, you know, so it's just like when I get into these conversations with young guys like that, like just, and yeah. And I know it was like, he wasn't quite getting it, but.
What age is because I am a single parent with a son. What age do you start talking about shit like that?
I'd say as soon as like they are starting to be around other kids, you know, just.
I mean, he's 9. I mean, we know, like, you know, boundaries and, you know, not to be mean and shit like that. But
I remember having a talk with my kids when they were in preschool, just saying things like, you know, if you don't want nobody touching you, don't let them say no. And, you know, it started with that, right? Like, nobody has, you know, your body is your body and people need permission. And so don't let anybody touch you without permission. You just say no. And, you know, and if it's a teacher that's like trying to grab your arm to put you in line and you say no and you get in trouble, then I'm going to go to the school and I'm going to talk to somebody about that. And, you know, it's one thing if you're not listening to them get in line, but if they grab you and put you in line, that's not appropriate. I don't want them touching you like that. Because, see, the thing is, kids can't understand the difference between that and then somebody actually touching them for really, really bad reasons, right? They don't understand the difference. So you just got to cut it all off. At least that was my thinking. And so that's what I said. And I said, and so if you get into trouble, I will back you up. And so that's what I told my kids. And my daughter got it. My daughter understands that. Like, she totally understands that. But yeah, it'd be like age appropriate talk. So like at this, and you know, and I likewise told my son, keep your hands to yourself. Don't be touching kids without permission. Like, don't be hitting them, slapping them, patting them on, nothing. Just keep your hands to yourself unless you have permission. Yeah. And that's what I can't
stand it. Like, we have parents that say, well, if your child hits my child, they have the right to hit them back. I have a really like, I can't, I mean, it's like, that's not even okay. I feel kind of awkward with that, but then I don't know. 'Cause I mean, shit.
When my son was in football, when he was 8 years old. Oh yeah. Sorry, both sides. I'll say this real quick. When he was 8 years old, he was playing football, and there was this kid. I think this kid was probably, I don't know. There was something about him where he was just, I think it might've been ADHD. I'm not sure, but he was just with my son. He was always like, tapping him with his foot. Like they were waiting in line to do drills, and he wouldn't kick him hard. He would just like tap him with his foot, like on his leg, like on his calf, like stand behind him. He would like, you know, pat him on the shoulder pads, like just do all kinds of things. And he would just like tap his helmet, do all this other stuff, and just annoy my son. Right. And I think he was trying to be friends with him, but he just didn't have a way to express it. And my son just kept saying, you know, he just keeps doing this. And I told him, yeah, don't hit him back, because they'll always see the second hit. They won't see him doing anything. They'll always see you doing something. And then you're both going to get in trouble. So all you got to do is just turn around and just say loudly, "Stop touching me," and just say it every time. And every time he does it, just say it loud. Will you stop touching me? You don't stop touching me. Don't touch me. And eventually, yeah. And then the kid eventually got in trouble and he had to be dealt with. But that's how I dealt with it. Yeah. Cause I wouldn't advocate. Cause I think and the only time I told him, the only time that you are to fight back is if you are like, if they're actually like trying to beat on you. Right. Because you have to defend yourself. But if they're just touching you or just being annoying, don't hit them back. Just lay down a boundary and say, "Don't touch me." And then do it and keep saying it loud so that everybody hears it. And that's what I said. Because also kids of color tend to get more in trouble for stuff like that. Like they tend to get disciplined more often and things like that. So that's why I was protecting them. I was like, no, don't hit back. Don't do anything like that. Just say it loud. Don't touch me.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Because they always see
Wow.
the second hit, never the first one.
Yeah.
It's a rule you
It's
picked up
like-
in sports. Yeah.
Because I got in trouble in 9th grade. A girl bullied me throughout like 1st through 9th grade. And one day I just had enough and I took her ponytail right through the locker door.
Mhm.
And they saw me.
They saw
They
you
didn't
do
see
it.
her.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's like,
And of course she played the
shit.
victim. Yep. That's exactly
Yep.
right. Yep. Sorry, Bo Sizing. What were you going to say? I cut you off.
No, you're good. I was going to, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. If you're the one crying out, everybody's going to look.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you retaliate, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, you pretty much covered it. If you're just in a situation where you have to defend yourself to get out of that situation, just do the minimum that you have to do to get away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's what I share with both my kids. Like my daughter, like I got her pepper spray, and for that one, I did say, look, if you ever feel like you're in danger, just use it. If you just feel like it. Because, I think with my daughter, I think it's kind of a different story. I'm sorry to say that, but it's different because I think she's more vulnerable than my son. My son played lineman. He played football. So I worried less about him being physically hurt than with her. And so with her, I was like, no, man, if you just feel like you're in danger and you feel like they're threatening you, just use it. We'll sort it out later. Just use it. Because the important thing is that don't feel like you have to decide or anything like that. If you just feel like you're in danger, just take out the pepper spray and just go. And we'll worry about that later. Yeah.
Yeah, because things can happen so fucking quick.
It does, especially with vulnerable people. Yeah. So I didn't want to have her be in a position where she had to think about it. I was just like, no, man, just if you feel like you're in danger, just use it. And that's the unfortunate reality. The danger is different. Yeah. Yeah. I hate to say it. It's true. Just smaller bodies, not as strong, easily overpowered. Yeah. I
have an alarm that I use because I can't, my dexterity can't do the pepper spray.
Yeah.
And so like I do conceal and carry, but I also have an alarm that you can pull out and it's supposed to be really loud because I'm a single parent. And so
Absolutely.
I don't walk at night unless I absolutely fucking have to, but it's dangerous, obviously, for me being a single woman to walking out. Well, it doesn't matter what time of the day. I mean, it's out there.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh God, like, because I could probably knock somebody down, but in the heat of the moment, I got to grab something to defend myself.
Absolutely. And
I use a 38 called prayer.
prayer.
That's what I have.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the thing and I think that, it just kind of put it in perspective for me, like just over the years hearing women describe like how unsafe they feel in certain situations where I wouldn't even think, like a man like me wouldn't even think about it. And just like just like walking out to a parking lot in the middle of the day, right? From a store,
Yeah.
like in the middle of the day. Like I don't even think twice about that. And, you know, just hearing my wife describe how she's got to look in all directions. And, you know, if there's somebody, she feels like somebody's following her, she's got to decide, oh, what do I do? I'm like, man, that's like fucking exhausting. That's like mentally exhausting having to think about all that. And I'm like, wow, just hearing that just put it all in perspective for me. So then, yeah, so that's why I was with my daughter. I was like, yeah, just, if you just even feel unsafe, just go. Just, you know, we'll worry about it later.
That's why I decline. Like, people all the time out here will pull over and ask me and my son for rides. And it's like, no, I don't care if you're a Christian. I don't care who the fuck you are. I'm not going to get into a car with somebody, you know, and especially after the things that happened to me when I was a kid. I was essayed at 6 and 8. I'm not.
Yeah, we see it. Yeah, we're seeing it here in the comments, here in the chat. It's honestly exhausting. Yeah, I don't know how you all do it. Marjorie, as a New Yorker, I'm always studying shadows. Yeah, man. Just like you have to always constantly be on alert. Oh, man. So I just feel for you all. I just feel for you. Naya, unfortunately. Yeah. And when I learned having tattoos can possibly save you from getting kidnapped, yeah, man. And see, that's the thing. I don't even think about that shit. You know? I don't think guys with tattoos think about that. Like, this could possibly save me from getting kidnapped, or they could identify me later. Oh my God, that's just crazy that you have to think about something like that. That's wild. Kidnapped but not trafficked for organs. Yeah. So women live in a different world. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that sums it up right there. Women live in a different world. You know, the last guest was talking about perspective, and I think that's it. Just living in a different world.
Well, and it's not even just women. Like, I mean, think of the LGBTQ community, how they are fucking threatened all the time. I mean, and they're getting erased. And, you know, they have to be on the lookout, and that's scary for them. I couldn't imagine all the time, because you hear about, whatever, that one that I think he got unalived. Somebody took him out. That was a little bit ago, a couple of years ago, maybe, but it's happened on more than one occasion, you know, where they're getting like raped. And then you have extreme Christians that are all mad over a fucking bathroom. It's just like, do you realize that they are not harming anybody? They're not harming kids. It's fucking cis ass goddamn men that are sitting there harming women. We had an incident over at the motel here down the street that a man walked in to a woman's bathroom and did the most unimaginable to her and walked right the fuck back out.
Exactly. Yeah. Rainbow Ash says, I hold my car key like a knife in public just in case, or even just going to Target to get coffee in the morning or whatever. Yeah. It's like the things you all have to think about. It's just wild to me. And then like extending that to like I've seen like, Girls Gone Godless has complained in my Discord about like just the comments they get, the DMs they get. And then my wife just revealed to me recently, she said, I get DMs on TikTok all the time. Just like she's like, sometimes I'm afraid to make a comment on somebody's video because what'll end up, or just even liking it, because what'll end up happening is I'll get 3 DMs from people propositioning me. I'm like, that's just crazy. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Just walking on eggshells.
Yeah, just walking on eggshells all the time. Like, yeah. And it's like, man, it's just.
And especially now with the internet, I mean, there's just so much. And people don't give a fuck what they say. They'll just because they're behind a screen, they'll say the most stupid shit.
Yes, most definitely. So, yeah, I feel for you all. I feel for you all. I just don't know how you all do it. I get DMs sometimes. People call me the C word and shit for no. Yeah, just like crazy stuff like that. That's what I mean. It's like, it's just wild to me that there's just people out there like that. And
you know, that'd be another good idea for the Discord. Like for women,
Yeah.
or anybody in the trans community, like defense mechanisms on
like
how to
safety?
defend yourself. Yes.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe I can throw that in resources, like just some safety tips,
Yeah.
Yeah, to protect yourself and things like that. Often at 4 a.m. Yeah, at 4 a.m. you're just getting DMs from people at 4 a.m. Yeah, that's just wild. Rainbow Ash. Just wild. Yeah. I was told to fist myself on a Christian live because I called out race. This is crazy. This is just crazy. Man, this is crazy. That's just wild to me. The people would say that stuff.
I still never will forget the message that I sent you when I first started doing this, that the guy wanted to grate me over and over and over again.
Yeah, just crazy. Yeah, I hope that happens. Like, why would you ever wish that on somebody? Rainbow Ash.
Yeah.
I usually reply cute stuff back to freak them out. Oh, I keep you up at night. Thanks for thinking about me. Block. I love
And
the
of course,
sassy
what's
ones.
shitty is like TikTok didn't even like do anything about it. They said they found no violation of that. And I'm like, how the fuck do you not find a violation? Who's watching this shit?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right, Godless Engineer.
I'm sure.
Born again
I'm not even
atheist.
sure why I keep reporting stuff because no violations found is just disheartening at this point.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It totally is.
And now this app is in the hands of Larry Ellison. So who the fuck knows what's gonna happen?
Yeah, I know. It's all ended up that way, but hey, you know what? We're gonna keep going, and that's part of the reason why I'm building the tube. I'm building that out. So we can just transition right over if things go south. So but yeah, you're right, Godless Engineer. Born again atheist, man. That lady.
Oh yeah, I bet. Wow.
I don't know how she handles it, man. I don't know. And she turns it around really well, but goodness. Yeah, has had stalkers. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think the tube is like the last that's like the Alamo. We're just going to move over to there and do that. But yeah, you're right, Daredevil. BAA is amazing. My wife often falls asleep to her. So I'll just be on my phone and I'll hear her in the background ranting about something or doing something, playing some music or doing something. Oh, jeez. So yeah, it's a wild world, but that's why we do these things. That's why I do lives like this. That's why my David and Bathsheba is like my go-to, specifically for that. Because, for men, it's to see where they're at in terms of empathy. And then it really hits hard for women too, because, I can put them in that position and then be like, are you sure this is a good thing that God did? And yeah, you can just see the wheels turning. It really hits hard.
Another thing that I was thinking about, like I don't give my son the internet, like he has nothing corded to him. And the thought that the parents, like, it scares me. Like, are we in a world where are we teaching our kids about safety, especially on the internet, because of what is on the internet,
I think we're getting better at it. Because there was like nowadays, like the whole thing about, I don't even know if I can say it, Roblox. Like Roblox is like on the radar now, right? Like parents are all over Roblox now and making sure that's safe. And, generation ago, like, cause my kids don't use Roblox anymore, but they used to, and there was nothing on there that was keeping kids safe. It was just a free for all. And I could see why. I was like, wow. So anybody could just be anybody. And like there was no safeguards or anything. And I think there's a lot more now, but I would play on Roblox with my kids. Just number one. Yeah. Just mainly to make sure they were okay. So I would go on there, but yeah, it was just teeming with kids everywhere. And I was just thinking at the time, man, something's not right here. And but now they finally caught up. Godless Engineer Mike O2 is Mary being great by God. Yeah, that's a good one too. I'm probably going to throw that in a lot more because that's a really good one. And
How
yeah,
old was she?
well, it doesn't specifically say, but if you go by tradition, probably around 13, 14.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And God just like, nope, you're going to do this. Like, what? Say what? Yeah. But they try to argue it away like, oh, she agreed to do it. Well, she's still 14. She can't give consent. Yeah. There's no consent there, but that's a good one, GE. Yeah, that's a really good one. I like that one. I like David and Bathsheba. That's a golden one. They can't get around that one. And then the other one I like to use is the 50 shekels of silver one. I think that's in Deuteronomy, right? Where the man takes the woman and then has to pay 50 shekels of silver. And then but can't divorce her. That's his punishment. But if he grapes a virgin, he just has to pay the fine. And then I just simply ask him, so what if he wanted her? So all he's out is 50 shekels, and he got himself a virgin, and he got himself a wife. Boom, done. That's it. So I was like, that's crazy. You just basically just paid out 50 shekels, and you got what you wanted, and you got to grape her. So that's just crazy to me. Yeah, it's crazy to me. Yeah, it's crazy to me. Yeah, it's crazy. So that's what I like that one too. I might have to go with that one. I might have to do that one for a while to get off David and Bathsheba. So, well, I'm gonna close up here. I'm gonna invite up my mods. So Sonny, please request up because I can't bring you up. And Forever Atheist, I tried bringing you up. You might be away, but we'll do it again. There we go. My fantastic mods, the fantastic mods. Yeah.
I accidentally clicked out.
Oh, that's all right. So thank you guys. I love having you in here. You guys are amazing. And you make doing these lives so much more fun and so much better. So I appreciate you. And the same thing with Rainbow Ash and Blaster Master on the tube side. You guys make things so fun and amazing. So thank you guys. So give some love to the mods, some W's, some follows, some coins if you got them, if you can spare one or two, please do, because they deserve it. And yeah, you guys are amazing. So thank you so much. So last bit, who is live that we can go raid? So this is what I do. I thank my mods. I have a show. I thank my mods, and I go find somebody to raid. Let's see who we have
Thanks
on.
for having me up, Trust.
Absolutely, man. Anytime. Let's see. We have. Oh, Board Agnostic. That's who we should raid. Board Agnostic is awesome. Have you guys
I want to borrow their brains seriously.
Board Agnostic is so smart.
So
smart. Yeah. So good. And yeah, let's do a Board Agnostic raid. I don't know if they're on YouTube. I don't know. And maybe this is a good incentive to get them on YouTube because they really need to be. I won't ask if you're a mod or a rocker. That's funny. But yeah, let's do that. So board_agnostic. Thank you for the star. Appreciate that. So let's go raid them and show some love. Say TBV raid in their chat. And let's just show them. Let's just show up for them and show out. So guys, thank you so much for having such a fun live today. Yeah, this was a lot of fun as usual. A lot of fun as
And
usual.
Jezebel advertised you earlier a couple days ago.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I saw that. Thank you so much. So enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your hump day. I know it's midweek, but we'll get there, man. We're almost there to the end of the week. But enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and I will see you guys tomorrow. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Take care, guys. Have a good night. And we'll see you at Board Agnostic.
All right, bye. Have a good night.